Welcome to DXC Arena, match 21 of the 2025 Top End T20 Series, sponsored by End T Tourism. We've just seen some beautiful shots all around Darwin, and now we're seeing some beautiful shots of DXC Arena. It's the Melbourne Stars and Perth Scorchers who are both looking to continue on their winning ways. The Stars are 2-1, Scorchers 2-2, and with 6 games to play before the finals, every win is worth plenty. May we begin this broadcast by acknowledging the Larrakia people, traditional owners of the land we are on. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. We also extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people watching this broadcast. Pete Laser with you, Will Zvar as well. As we look at the bat flip, we can see that Sammy Harper flipped the bat up, and it was the Scorchers who won the toss. And Jaden Goodwin says, we'll have a bowl first. Will, great to have you here, mate. We've just seen the Scorchers win the bat flip and bowl first. Let's take a look at the lineups. Firstly, the Melbourne Stars, who are 2-1.
Yeah, they're 2-1. They've had a pretty good start to the tournament so far, halfway through for them. And looking at the ins today, they've got Cameron McClure, and he's come in, and he has taken the place of Douglas Warren. Max Berthasell also, he is an out for today's game, and coming in for him is Hamish McKenzie as well. Looking at the Perth Scorchers lineup today, they have had Keaton Critchell, Luke Holt and Albert Esterhausen make way for Baxter Holt, who will be pulling on the gloves today, as well as Bryce Jackson and Brodie Couch, two of the pace bowlers, which has been interesting to see how the various teams have dealt with, particularly their fast bowling attack in this competition, Peter. Obviously, 6 games within about 11 days' time. Want to make sure that you've got fresh legs the whole way through.
Brodie Couch, of course, playing against his old side and his old mates at the Melbourne Stars as well. Was a bit of a cult figure when he was at Team Green. So we're all set up, not surprisingly, as we get in August here in Darwin. Perfect conditions at DXC Arena. You can see the Scorchers getting ready to head onto the field. So we'll be back with the action in just a few short moments' time.
Are you looking to hit your studies for 6? Make the move to Australia's Northern Territory and start a world-class partnership where your potential can glide through boundaries and you can rack up runs in places you've never imagined. Enjoy our laid-back lifestyle and help us build what's next. When this over is over, think about getting on a good wicket and consider studying in Australia's Northern Territory. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
Visiting Darwin, Australia? Make your stay a winning one at Darwin Airport Resorts. Just minutes from the airport and a short drive to the city, it's the ideal base for travellers chasing sun, culture or the cricket. With 3 comfortable hotels, 2 inviting pools and 2 on-site dining options, everything you need is right here. Relax, recharge and enjoy the top end at Darwin Airport Resorts.
Welcome back to DXC Arena. It is match 21, the 2025 Top End T20 Series, sponsored by NT Tourism. And we are ready to go. A beautiful Wednesday afternoon. 1 o'clock local time start. Sam Harper and Campbell Kellaway out in the middle for the Melbourne Stars. And they've certainly been good with bat in hand. They've made very, very good runs here. 185, 231 and 175 the Stars, so some big knocks, and they'll be looking to cash in on what looks to be a very, very good batting wicket.
Matthew Kelly will be starting the bowling today from the southern end, the airport end here at DXC Arena, here in the Marara Sporting Complex.
Just wondering if you can hear those planes taking off behind us. They're fairly loud when we're here, especially down the airport end. Flipped around for this year's commentary, which is it's good to get another perspective on the cricket. So as we do with the Big Bash games as well, 4 over power play and then the 2 hour power surge can be taken in the second half of the innings. So you've been doing a few of these games, Will. It's a beautiful spot for cricket, and we're just speaking to a couple of the Stars boys this morning around the breakfast table, they just love the fact they can come here and they know they're playing every day. No covers, no rain, no problems.
Yeah, it's a unique opportunity, unique part of the world, and I said it every broadcast, I think, so far today. Today there's a tiny bit, but there's pretty much blue sky all around. There's a little bit of sort of cloud haze, but I don't think there's any danger of any precipitation coming down at all.
Backing across, and this time we'll get the single. Tell you what, you've got better eyes than I have if you're seeing any clouds in the sky. I've been here 5 times for 5 of these times. I have not seen one cloud the whole time I've been here.
Oh, there's just a few little whispers, but I'm probably being a little bit harsh there. You're right, there's not too much. It's relatively blue, as you can see. The ground's been kept really well. It's nice and green and lush here as well. Just trying to get the temperature up at my phone's playing up. But for those of you unaware, Darwin, unlike the rest of, or a large part of Australia, it's in the tropical north. So we have that wet and dry season combination. Currently coming towards the end of the dry, and it is beautiful weather. You get this, you get about, I think, 50 days a year of nights under 20 degrees. So yeah, really nice part of the world.
I've never experienced any of those. Campbell Kellaway now on strike, the left-hander. Send a bit of representation at Australia A level as well. It's a good opportunity for players like Kellaway, who are certainly looked at the red ball part of his game. We know how hard he's working at that at the top of the order and trying to get that opportunity at the next level. So now here's a chance to just sort of free the shoulders a little bit, open himself up. He's played a few games for the Stars. Try and make the most of his opportunities here at the top of the order with the experienced Sam Harper down the other end. It's a genuine outside edge, but safely down to deep third for another single.
Yeah, Kellaway had some opportunities in this tournament. Unfortunately for him, he's gone for 1 and 2 in games, 1 and 3, but he made 27 that middle innings. He's also been somewhat tight with the ball in hand as well when bowling. He's bowled in every game as well, so I guess these tournaments provide that opportunity for people who might sort of lean towards batting to have a bowl and vice versa for the bowlers to have a crack with the bat too. But yeah, Kellaway, as I said, he's batted and bowled in every game so far.
Bounce, and that was quick. It's been called a wide. I'm very rarely on the bowler's side, Will, but I always think it's harsh when bounces a one that seemed to go through it, sort of that shoulder neck sort of region, but the umpire's got a better view of it than us and called it wide, so get to bowl it again. It's been a good over though from Kelly. Just conceded the couple of singles in that wide, so 3 off the over so far. Underused the bouncer. This is slower. It's upwardly played through backward point, but again, safe for just a single. I was speaking to Campbell before the game because he captained the last match, the game 3. Got the tap on the shoulder saying, can you give Tommy Rogers a bowl? Talk about batters who are bowling. That should be the last time that experiment ever happens. I think it went for about 13 or 14.
He did 13 off his over.
That should be about it for young Tom. He's been batting beautifully, but let's get the ball out of his hand. And let's come off the pad and we'll go down to the boundary for 4 leg buys. So it won't go against Kelly. He won't be happy with how he's finished the over, though. Got to get out of those overs a little better. No wicket for 8. And the Stars will take that after a pretty solid first over from the big fella.
Yeah, absolutely. 8's probably a good sort of start. I think a lot of teams have sort of tried to ease into that first over. You haven't really seen much more than, in fact, I don't think you've seen double figures in many overs in this tournament so far to start off. But 8, they'd be happy with that. And leg by boundaries, as I said, not ideal for the bowling side, but they've been pretty comfortable to just ease into it all across the tournament in that first over.
Certainly been some good scores, some big scores in the DXC Arena. That is also true. Brody Couch is going to take the ball from the TIO Stadium, Michael Long Academy end, the city end, the northern end. Is there any other names we can have for that?
The Lee Point end, I guess.
Lee Point.
The Karama end, if you're so inclined.
Lee Point's a nice beach down at Lee Point.
Yeah, beautiful spot for a nice quiet sunset.
So we've got a slip, short third, backward point, a deep point on the boundary, cover mid-off, mid-on, deep square leg and a short fine. So no one on the boundary behind the wicket for Sam Harper on strike. He stands just to swat it through the leg side.
Harper's scores so far this tournament. Top score of 50 off 35 in the 6-wicket win against the Hobart Hurricanes, followed by a 34-run knock and 11 against Nepal on Monday.
Which was the Stars' lowest of their 3 scores. Got themselves a win. Nepal's had plenty of support, haven't they, throughout the tournament?
Absolutely. Probably the biggest supporter base up here in Darwin. Nepal of the teams visiting. Massive community, and yeah, that first Friday night against the NT Strike side, who you'd think would have a lot of local support, which they do, but that Nepalese side was just another level.
Well, I remember seeing Pakistan Shaheens in the Melbourne Stars last year. It was just green and white and stars everywhere. Everyone was barracking for both sides. The Nepalese supporters, they were getting right into it off the broadcast. It was fantastic. It was coming alive with singing and dancing and cheering. And that's hit in the air. It's going to just go over backwards. Or short fine leg, we should say, for 2. Did mention how no one was down on the boundary, so Harper looking for those ramp shots and little flicks over the keeper. Didn't quite get all of it though. The breeze has picked up just a little bit. It's coming from sort of the right-hand shoulder of the batter, going down to mid-wicket as Harper stands now. And he slays that over the offside. That's a good shot. That's the sort of timing that he was after. It's going to race into the boundary for 4. Probably didn't get all of it, but it sounded beautiful off the bat. And Harper knew that was 4 from the minute he hit it.
Yeah, good start. That takes them up to 14 halfway through this, or just over halfway through this second over here. And as I said, teams have been pretty comfortable to ease into it and sort of push the runs later in the innings. But the Stars will be really happy with this as they chase their 3rd win on the trot.
Pretty deep batting lineup too, the Stars. They'll back themselves here. And that one's hit high and wide as well. It's shorter and quicker from Couch. It was pace on. Harper knew it and hit that one deep, deep to mid-wicket and will come back for 3. Just getting away a little bit here with 9 off the last 3 balls.
Yeah, a rare 3 here at DXC Arena.
Had more height, didn't it, than length on the shot. Doesn't seem to be coming quite onto the bat like we've seen, certainly in the night games where it skids on a little bit.
Yeah, and given it is those dry season conditions, you'll sort of notice there is a difference in the style of play you have in the day games and the night games. Perfectly dry, you can sort of feel it on your skin and your lips, Pete. But at night time, there is a little bit more dew on the grass, which of course can, I guess, change the game.
Callaway will be facing Reddy Couch for the first time. Tries to push into offside and can't beat the field. So 9 from Reddy Couch's first over. And all is well for the Melbourne Stars after the Scorchers won the bat flip and sent them in to bat first. Kellaway's on 1. Harper has had a majority of the strike. He's on 11. And the Stars, no wicket for 17 after 2.
Run rate of 8.5, really healthy at this stage. That's probably what you've averaged when you look at the total score. But as I said, most teams have tended to really put on runs towards the back half when they've activated that power surge in the second half of their innings, and towards the end when they've got sort of more wickets in hand than balls, and they're happy to just take the risks and go big swinging.
So Bryce Jackson, who is in for this match with the Scorchers, will be taking the ball from the Darwin International Airport end. Harper will be looking to increase here halfway through the power play. Hits that beautifully through mid-off. That's 4. Don't have to run for those. Just slightly over-pitched from Jackson, and Harper was onto the front foot quickly. Struck it beautifully, and that was going to the boundary.
Third game for Jackson, one of those quicks who's just been rested and managed over the first and fourth game, but he had best bowling figures, Pete, in game number 3, a 5-wicket win against Bangladesh. 3 for 45 he picked up and 2 for 25, so collected 5 wickets in just 2 games, a pretty handy knock so far.
That's just a little bit shorter in length. Good adjustment from Jackson. Mid-off just came a little bit straighter as well into the eye line of Sammy Harper. That's true, and in high-scoring competitions, you still need those wicket takers, don't you? Because, yes, he's gone for 45, but if you can take 3 wickets along the way, the captain will throw you the ball. Takes the pace off this one, rolls the fingers over the top. Plenty of encouragement from his Scorchers teammates. Probably a bit more Perth weather like than it is Melbourne weather at the minute, so they're feeling at home, the Scorchers.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting back to that weather, it was 29 degrees here. You can almost just about predict any day that the weather's going to be 29 or 30.
That would be the easiest job in Darwin.
The weather
easiest job, be the weather guy.
Absolutely, and a humidity of 34%, so yeah, pretty perfect dry season day.
It's in the air and slayed over backward point. That's going to be one bounced into the fence, the beautiful picket fence here at DXC Arena. Too much width from Jackson, and Harper does not need to be asked twice.
Yeah, great addition of this white picket, pristine condition fence that's and these fancy new light screens as well, which have been put in here at DXC Arena, the home of cricket in the Northern Territory. As we mentioned, we're in the sporting complex. They got everything here, Pete. They got not only footy, rugby, tennis. They got golf just across the road, which I think some of these Stars boys on last Friday, they try to smack it into the hole in the 7th. They've got squash courts. They've even got a brass band club.
There's
shooting
netball,
range,
clay shooting, I saw.
Netball, everything you can imagine.
That's down leg side. And after 140 years of cricket, wicketkeepers still appeal down the leg side trying to fool the umpire. And in 140 years of cricket, I've never seen the umpire fooled.
There's a first time for everything. I don't know how long we'll be waiting for the first there.
Important for Jackson to get out of this over now. 2 deliveries to come. And that's struck in front, but the umpire says not out. Kellaway will call him through.
Didn't think about it for 1 second there, Peter.
I actually thought he might have thought there was an inside edge on it, but it might have been just drifting down leg side. We'll try and have another look at that. Jackson's a fairly tall fella. Harper not so much. Just trying to play. It fell across the line a little bit there. Harper trying to whip it through mid-wicket. As always in the power play, with the field up, it's your best chance, the ball hard, it's the best chance to score those runs. It also creates opportunities for bowlers, especially wicket-taking bowlers like Jackson. Deep third just been pushed a little squarer. And beaten. So a good end to the over from Jackson. Did cop a little bit of Sammy Harper batting earlier on, but gets out of the over okay. It's another over that will probably go in the Stars' favour though. 3 overs gone, no wicket for 27. Kelly started well. Couch and Jackson both hit to the boundary on occasions. No wicket for 27, going at 9 and over after 3.
Yeah, they've built on their opening over of 8 runs. They've gone 8 runs, 9 runs and 10 runs. So slowly building up. If you're following the trend, they should get 11 this coming over. But you mentioned the strength of the Stars batting lineup, Peter. The Perth Scorchers bowling lineup, just as tantalising. Pick of the bunch so far, you'd think it'd be Matthew Kelly, but other names not out there today. Albert Esterhausen, but Corey Roccaccioli, he's been really tidy with the spin, and then also Brody Couch and Bryce Jackson, who have already had a spin, I should say. I shouldn't say that. They've had a bowl today. Yeah, that's a really strong-looking outfit here, and could cause a little bit of grief if the Stars aren't careful. I think this first innings is where a lot of the action's going to happen.
Corey Roccaccioli, of course, was a Melbourne star for a season or 2. Very popular teammate, and then, of course, has broken through back home in Perth and Back to the Scorchers. Kelly now from the TO Stadium end. And that one smashed from Harper. He struck that beautifully. And it's gone all the way. Really got hold of that, Sammy Harper. It was just again slightly over pitched. The little fella put the small peg down the wicket and hit it very cleanly back over the bowler's head for 6.
Shot of the day so far, first 6. I reckon he might try and hit some onto that golf course a little bit later on as well.
He's hit that one clean as a whistle. Just slightly over pitch, gave himself some room. This one's short. Couldn't catch up with it. Fine leg, of course, or short fine leg inside the circle. So there are runs to be had. Deep square leg, or deep backward square and deep mid wicket. The 2 fielders out. We're slightly surprised that with this field, Harper hasn't tried to open up the offside a little bit. We've seen him do that before, certainly in big bash games.
Only the 4 balls left in this opening power surge. You'd want to try and capitalise on that while he can.
25 from 15. So he does it this time, and that's 4. Just a little bit of room. That absolutely cannons into the new fence. Talk about picket fence. You can probably tell it's a metal picket fence with that sound. That has gone at knots. 4 runs. Good shot.
And I reckon Sam Harper must have a little earpiece listening to our dulcet tones here, Peter. He heard you perfectly and done exactly what you've said.
I think the fact that he's 1,000 times better batter than I'll ever be, he can actually do everything that we talk about.
Absolutely.
I can only talk about it. That's a beautiful shot. Pressure back on the bowler. That's what batters want to do. Short, and it's swatted over mid-on for 4. This is a batting masterclass from Harper at the moment. He's playing his shots. He's playing nice and still and hitting the ball very cleanly. There's probably one person who's not happy with how this is going. That's Tommy Rogers. He doesn't mind being at the top of the order. They've said, you just head down to number 6. We'll give a few other guys a go. One of those guys is his skipper here. He's making the most of it, 33 from 17.
Yeah, I was looking at the team list when it came in. Saw he wasn't part of the emissions, but it took me 6 names before I got to his, and I thought, geez, got an 128 a few days ago and relegated to 6th.
He'll be leaning on Clint Mackay to try and get himself a bowl later on. Some good hitting from Sam Harper here. And forces the mistake. Well, if Tommy Rogers gets a bowl in the last game, now he's down to number 6. Maybe he is angling at that all-rounder spot. I'm sure we'll be having a word to the Victorian coach, his namesake Chris Rogers, who also couldn't bowl. To see if he can just get a nice little spot there with the big V when the season starts in a few weeks' time. Father of the Year, Chris Rogers, of course, up here at the moment, but departing tomorrow, which is a shame. And that's hit in the air, and once again, pretty cleanly from Sammy Harper. Just second-guessed himself because that hasn't reached. And now he's going to get 1 for it. If that happened at local cricket, there would be all sorts of fines associated with that.
Yep.
I had a coach called Simon Helmut, who's actually the WBBL coach from the Renegades. There would be 100-metre sprints training if anyone ever did that in a game.
Got to take the opportunities.
Just caught a little bit high up on his bat. I didn't think he hit it quite as well as he thought.
Yeah, and there's been a few of them today as well. I think back in the first over there was one which we thought was going to be a boundary and just didn't quite make it.
Kellaway turns it off his hip for a single. Having said that, it's still a very, very good over for the Melbourne Stars, and it does wrap up the power play. And you'd have to say that the Melbourne Stars would be very pleased with how it's gone. 17 from that final over, no wicket for 44. Harper 34, Kellaway on 2. And that's the end of the power play.
And they've really rocketed out to 43, particularly that 17 in that 4th over. None for 44, sorry. And yeah, it's really crept out, as you can see. Sam Harper with the glut of the balls faced. I think Campbell Kellaway, he's only gotten out to 2 off 6 balls, so only faced a quarter of the balls out there so far. Sam Harper, I think he must have a little competition going on with Tommy Rogers and trying to chase down that 128 set for him a few days ago.
Well, they're always very competitive. Don't worry about that. Those boys don't mind. They'd be competitive at marbles if given the choice. I think intelligent batting though from Kellaway. You don't have to go as hard as your partner. If your partner's hitting them beautifully, you've just got to be part of it. Now it's important though to get him back on strike. Matthew Spore's coming on from the Darwin International Airport end. Southern end here at DXC Arena. Top End T20 Series, sponsored by NT Tourism. And haven't the players been putting on a show for the top end over the past week or so? That's a good start. No wicket for 44, and you get thrown the ball as a leggy. That's not an easy time to come on. And he's landed his first one beautifully. Good batter too, from all reports.
Yeah, just reading up on my notes here. Used to be a top order batsman.
And how was that missed?
Turned himself into a spinner, and still pretty handy at mid-level, which I'm sure he will put some evidence to us later on in the day.
So that's got the bottom edge. It's gone through Baxter Holt, which is no fault of his own. There's no way a keeper's getting that. I just don't quite know how it's missed the stumps. I'm not sure any Spore's new either. And that one's smashed, but there's protection down on the deep mid-wicket fence and some good fielding down on the boundary from Matthew Kelly, who's probably still thinking about his last over, probably thinking he should have bowled both of them from the International Airport end. But there is that element. Yes, everyone wants to win, everyone wants to bat well, bowl well, field well, of course, but there's also playing in match conditions and getting out there and experimenting a little bit. Speak about Rogers batting at 6, it's the same thing. Other guys need a shot. He needs a spot. Maybe he could be the finisher today.
Yeah, and Clint Mackay's probably seen that and thought, right, you've ticked that box.
Yep.
I need to let some other guys try and tick the box as well.
This one's hit firmly down the ground. It'll only be one. So as with Big Bash rules that we play each year, same in the Top End T20 Series here in Darwin. 4 overs with only 2 fielders out, and then 5 fielders can be out. In the second half of the innings, the batting side gets to choose a 2-over power surge. Just walks across his crease and taps it to the leg side, looking for 2, but it won't be there. Again, some good fielding from the Scorchers. Sam Fanning, who has been the skipper for their first 4 games. Not today, just having a run around and have a bat at the top of the order. I do love the power surge, I will say that. After there's been a few rules that have been tinkered with over the course of the Big Bash, it's a beauty.
And it's been in all its glory in this competition as well. I think it might have been the Scorchers game against the Pakistan Shaheens on Saturday, as the score is 0 for 50. They cross over their first milestone of the game. Scorchers activated in the 14th over with the win almost in sight. You know, they just had to cruise to it, and they lost a few wickets, and suddenly Pakistan brought the game back to level. Perth Scorchers escaped with a win there. But yeah, it's a fantastic element that can really just turn a game on its head as well.
Yeah, taking it when you don't need to seems a little bit ridiculous. We've seen that happen at the Big Bash level as well. As Corey Rockjolly's going to take the ball from the TIO Stadium end here, DXC Arena. Yeah, Bala Road, Michael Long end of the stadium. He's got the headband on, he's ready to go. Hasn't he been bowling well with both white and red ball? No wicket for 50 though, not an easy time to come on. Harper stands and delivers down the ground. This time they run the first one quickly, but there's no more than just the single. He's got to follow up that good over from Spores though. Just take the pace off a little bit.
Rockacholi's figures so far, 1 for 12, 1 for 14, 1 for 15, and 1 for 21. So escaped out a little bit in that 4th match, but otherwise pretty consistent. He's taken a wicket in every game so far, which for him, he'd be looking to build on that.
He is a wicket taker. We talk about those wicket taking bowlers. He's certainly not just type, but I think you've got to be in T20 cricket too, don't you? Nice shot from Kellaway, just crunching that into the offside for 1, getting Harper back on strike. Harper has faced twice as many deliveries as Campbell Kellaway, but We talk about batting in a partnership, and this is what it means.
Yeah, as a bowling attack, you mentioned Roccaccioli needing to take wickets. Sometimes you can contain the runs. Doesn't look like they're doing that here, so they need to find another way to try and bring themselves back into the contest. Taking wickets, the best way to do that.
That's it firmly into the gap between deep mid-wicket and long on. Kellaway in and out, but not quickly enough to get back. I mean, you mentioned when they got that three, it's one of the very few threes that I've seen here at DXC Arena. The outfield is absolutely magnificent. The ground staff here did such a good job. It is flat and it looks a picture. It's a true bounce too. It'd be great to field on. Just a little inside edge onto the pad. Half shout. But again, the spinner's doing the job here. Just pegging them back a touch.
Yeah, really important to try and bring that run rate down, currently at 9.35, which is definitely more than what you've sort of averaged in these games this year.
Push to the leg side. Roccaccioli will do the fielding himself. Now, can he get out of the over? Harper will be aware here that he's only gone for the 4 singles from his first 5 deliveries, so he'll be looking. I reckon that long on deep mid-wicket space, there could be a chance here. You dare say Harper will go hard. He doesn't. And very quickly off for 2. That's some good batting. It wasn't there to hit. Pushed into the gap in 2. Still a good over from Corey Roccaccioli. Just 6 from it though. And the Melbourne Stars, after losing the bat flip and being sent in from the Scorchers, will be very pleased with how it sits. No wicket for 56. The skipper is away, 40 from 23. Kellaway playing the anchor role, 8 from 13.
And I don't think they'd mind that either, just the 8 runs so far from Kellaway, but sometimes it is a little bit knowing your role, and his role here isn't to be the run scorer, it's to be the anchor, as you say. It's just to keep Harper composed, keep him happy as well, and not blaze away and lose those early wickets. He's doing a very good job at it so far. And
even supporting him in the running between wickets is just important. We saw one mistake, obviously, when Harper hit it to long off and sort of walked through for the one. But aside from that, it's a little game awareness at times. If you're not getting the boundaries, then get off strike and make sure you've got the boundary hitter on strike. So Brody Couch is going to come back into the attack.
Conceded 9 from his first over.
Yeah, this will be from the Darwin International Airport end, so he's flipped around as well. For the left-hander, the leg side does have a little bit of a breeze in his favour. Long on, deep square leg, deep fine leg. The sweeper out on the offside and deep third, the 5 men out. Full and straight through the hands. It's a good attempt from Spores. Didn't cost too many, just a single. Mopped up in the deep from Teague Wiley. Looking forward to seeing Teague Wiley. Talk about some gun all-rounders. I'm not sure if he's going to bowl too much, but he top of the order, he could do some damage.
Yeah, yet to take the ball in his hands so far, but 67 in that first game. I think at the time that was the clubhouse leader. He's been surpassed a few times since then. But he's proven that when he gets on it, he can hit a big score as well. They'd be hoping today is going to be one of those days, particularly when they've gotten the Stars out to 57.
What is it about West Australian built all-rounders? They build them differently out there. They're all just built like trucks. And that's short and wide. It's hit down to deep fine leg. It'll be a single. Probably would have been a wide had Harper not caught up with it. And they'll take the single. Been told I'm not allowed to talk about how you're only allowed 1 bouncer per over to each batter. I'm sure that's got to be a rule that changes. How much better would cricket be if you could see a couple of bounces every over? Batters like facing short balls too.
Yeah.
Well, most of them, depending who's bowling it. Just adds that extra element though. You don't know where the next ball's going to go. Kellaway, lovely shot. Well fielded though. Great diving effort. The skipper there, Jaden Goodwin, who's at mid-off. They'll scamper through for 1. Just those little things. If Scorchers can do those things the correct way, save the boundary when you can, Just adds a little bit of perceived pressure, if you like. There's not a huge amount of pressure at none for 59 off 6.5 overs. So there's going to be a long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward square, and a fine leg. So just the one fielder out on the offside. That's a deep point. Will Harper look to that offside to find the boundary again? Giving himself a little bit of room. The idea was there. So we've got the same idea, but as I say, Harper's good enough to actually execute it. A bit different to us. Well,
yeah, it's very easy to talk the talk from here, but to go out there and walk the walk, very different, and he's mastering it today.
Well, 41 from 25. It's hit in the air. It's backward a point. It's going to race away to the boundary. And it's going to get there for 4. Again, just that little bit of width. Went really hard with the hands and the arms and threw the ball quickly. And backward point had no chance.
Our first boundary since that 4th over as well, Peter. So the Scorchers just managed to taper it back a little bit. They're running at 6 and over, and you felt a little bit that tension was just building, a little bit of pressure being put on, and Harper's just broken it there.
How does Couch come back here? He's giving him a look at the pegs when he wants them. Slower Yorker and well executed. Not a huge amount Harper can do. He's seeing them beautifully, but there's not a lot he can do to get that away. And that finishes the 7th over. Once again, 7 from it. So they're still going at 9 and over here, Melbourne Stars. No wicket for 63. Harper 45. Kellaway 10. That's been a really good start for the Melbourne Stars. What a platform this is, a base to build upon.
Yeah, and sort of expect them to pull off a little bit. They'll probably be happy from here to cruise at 7s and 8s now that they have built up a really strong start. If they can maintain it and get, 1, even 2 boundaries and over, I think we'll see that for the next few overs until they reignite later on in the innings.
So Spores is going to come back into the attack. He bowled, of course, the first over after the power play, and it was a good one. Only went for 6 on that occasion. Now bowling from the other end. He'll just have that nice breeze to move it across the left-handed Kellaway. That's hit very firmly to deep backward square. Will only be the single. Once again, Kellaway doing his job. Now we could see a little bit of fireworks. Because Harper's going to have that breeze. It's just eased off a touch, but he's coming from his right shoulder across to that mid-wicket range.
Maybe that's the trick for the Scorchers. Try and make him feel like he can unleash and catch him unaware.
Goes reverse. It's in the air. Goes to deep point.
Doesn't look like he'll be too bothered at all. He'll just keep going the way he has so far.
This is at the time, though, isn't it, on a beautiful wicket when you're set and you've got all the shots. Got to cash in on these starts.
Wind picking up just a little bit more now.
Picking up just a little bit. I've seen a few Dorothys from Book Week over the course of this week. A few of them might land here from Kansas. Our ever reliable photographer patches out. Deep third getting the shots, all those beautiful shots you see. It's shorter. He might have got away with one there, Spores. He just dragged it down a touch, and Harper will just be a little unhappy with the fact that he didn't put that away, didn't make the most of it.
Patch Clap doing a great job. He'll be tuning in. I made sure he's keeping his lens pointed to us from time to time. Grab some money shots of us, Peter.
I'm not sure anyone wants to see that. The reason we're off broadcast here. And that one's hit firmly. It's a beautiful shot. Dragged it down. Kellaway was ready, and that's the key. He's in there. Hasn't been flying because he's got his mate down the other end doing the business, but Harper has said that is exactly what you should do, Campbell. Good boy. That's a good shot.
Yeah, now tracking at a run per ball, 18 off 18. That's all he needs to do, just sort of hold the fort and be that anchor. Harper closing on 50. Maybe he's sort of had a quick word as well.
And just being ready, wasn't he? He's ready to go when that shorter, flatter ball came in. The Spurs is now going to have to come back. Maybe that'll just get Kellaway going a little bit as well. He has played well, though. Tosses this one up, and it's almost flat batted to long off for a single. Well, here's the perfect start. If you ask the Stars what they wanted to do after they were inserted into bat first, no wicket for 74 after 8 would probably be pretty close to what they would ask for. Harper 47, Kellaway 19, and a really good partnership forming here. We know that Blake McDonald, who got some runs, he got a 70-odd the other day and had a quick chat to him. He had a season in Dublin, played over there. He's come down from New South Wales, got some runs for Victoria in their last Shield game, so he's an exciting prospect. Some cricket lovers in Victoria won't be happy because he's gone to St Kilda, but the St Kilda hierarchy will be happy. City Power Centre. As we see Bryce Jackson back into the attack. Certainly not afraid to throw his bowlers around, Jaden Goodwin.
No, not at all. Jackson, I think the first one, who's going for his second from the same end. He bowled in the third over, conceded 10 from that. He'll be hoping for a better return here.
Said 1-2 full and 1-2 wide, didn't he, in that first over?
2 boundaries conceded as well.
Now he has protection. It's a beautiful cover drive. It's funny, isn't it? You can have all the cricket shots in the book, but when you're a classic batsman or classic batter like Campbell Kellaway is, a beautiful cover drive, still a beautiful cover drive. Yes, you only get one for it, but for the cricket purists out there, cricket shots are still important in T20 cricket.
Absolutely.
Having said all of that, I think the Scorchers will be quite happy to be dealing in singles at the minute. No wicket for 75, one ball into the 9th over. Be interesting to see commentators curse if they take the power surge straight away. That's a good delivery. The most underused delivery in cricket. Now just imagine, just hear me out, Will. Imagine if he still had one up his sleeve to bowl at Harper. So for the next 4 balls, Harper knows that one of them could still be a short ball.
Bit of roulette for him. Is he?
But you're not allowed, so he knows they're going to be full.
I mean, what the arguments against, do they stack up, do you think, or you just think bring it back in?
Hit on the pad with the slower ball, almost pleading with the umpire. The umpires today, John Ganane and Rob Stewart, the umpires went very good over the course of the top End T20 Series.
And this competition gives them an opportunity as well. A lot of them, the local umpires, they sort of make sure the games tick over at local level. It's not just representation for the players, it's also for the umpires.
It was close, as we saw on the replay. May have just been sneaking down leg side. He did get across a long way. Maybe it was the height that was the issue of the slower ball. Well bowled from Jackson, though. It's hit high in the air. Finally, he's got a huge amount of work to do. Dives and can't quite get there. It's a great effort. That was a super effort from Joel Curtis down the boundary line. That was up in the air for a huge amount of time. Didn't quite get all of it, Kellaway, but geez, went a long way in the air. 4 runs. Another
one of those strikes which has just not quite gotten the length. It's gotten plenty of height, but just not quite the length that it's probably deserved. And only 4 in the end, but he'll take that, absolutely.
All right, just got on him a little bit quicker. Came around, great diving effort, great camber work too. What a job these guys are doing up on their cherry pickers. That's perfect camber work to see what's going on there. Take the 4 runs, but a half chance if you like. Fuller, straighter, and they've executed their Yorkers quite well. I would just like to have that element of, bat versus ball again, where even from a captaincy point of view, you know that if the bowler's bowled a short one to a certain batter, you can't bowl another one. You need to change the field, whereas the double bluffing that can go on, the execution of your skills, Of course, if you get a short ball wrong, well, we've seen that they can go a long way. I just think it adds another element to the game. I'm also saying that because I don't have to face them, so there is that part. Last ball of the 9th over. No wicket for 80 here. Slower ball. Campbell Kellaway had Bucky Rogers' dancing shoes on. That was really well executed. That's a good over from Jackson. I know there was a boundary in there, but he's executed beautifully there. A good over, 6 from it. No wicket for 80 after 9. And
yeah, aside from that boundary, it's the tightest over they've had, or the equal tightest over they've had. 6, they've had that 3 times. That 4th really sort of blew out the final of this first power surge. 17 they conceded off it, but thanks to their strong start, the Melbourne Stars have just tapered off a little bit. Happy to have a crack at it when they can, as you saw in that 8th over. Smashed a 6 from it. But the last 3 overs, they've just managed the 1 boundary in each, and I think that's probably where we'll trend for the next few overs at least. Just sustain this run rate as it is, up at about 8 and 9 at the moment. Now currently at 8.89.
Yeah, that was a very good over from Jackson. It's going to be Corey Roccioli to take the ball back in hand from the TIO Stadium end of the DXC Arena. Home of cricket here in Darwin. 2025 Top End T20 Series, sponsored by NT Tourism. 11 teams. Just tries to flick it around the corner. Funny little shot there from Harper. Doesn't get anything on it. That one's tossed up and swatted down the ground. Once again, he hasn't quite got all of it, but we'll come back for 2. That's good running from Kellaway. And that brings up the 50. 50 for Sam Harper. Sammy Harper's 50 coming from 33 deliveries.
Equals his highest so far for the competition. His previous knock 50 came off 35 balls, so pretty similar from that game against the Hobart Hurricanes.
He wants to go hard, and this one hits even straighter than the last, and more work to be done. This time won't get there. That's 4. Very similar to the previous delivery. This time just hit a little bit straighter, timed it a little bit better. And the boundary, Harper moves to 54. Good shot. So now the pressure goes back on the bowler. Harper goes high and long. It should be taken, and it is. Nice easy catch. If there's ever such a thing, Sam Fanning taking the catch out of deep in wicket, and Harper's gone. A well-made 54. The first wicket falls. And the Stars are 1 for 86 in the 10th over.
Corey Roccioli would be very happy with that. As I said, he's gotten a wicket in every game so far. And they weren't really going to contain the runs from the strong Melbourne Stars batting outfit. So they had to start taking wickets. Roccioli is a wicket taker, and that is the perfect place to start with the danger man. There's a few more in this lineup, one of which coming to the crease now. Blake McDonald.
Just went a little bit wider on the crease there, I think. Corey Roccioli just started more in at the body of Sam Harper instead of giving him that free swing down the ground, and just cramping for a little bit of room. He'll be pleased with his knock though. 54 from 35. It's a good knock from Sammy Harper. And now coming off a really good 74, Blake McDonald. He will be looking at opportunities in the Big Bash. And presume with the Melbourne Stars, who've still got a few spots open. I know that General Manager Max Abbott has come out and said we've deliberately left a couple of spots open so we can have a look at the talent that's out there and fill some needs. Well, here's the opportunity. Doesn't get any better than perfect conditions up in Darwin against the bowler that you're more than likely to face also. But the breakthrough in the 10th over. Push for 2. And Kellaway won't get back. I knew as soon as I mentioned that Stars could take the power surge straight away, that they were always going to lose a wicket. That was absolutely odds on. I don't have a Bet 365 account, but if I did, that would have been $1.01 as soon as I said that. Will that wicket just slow the Stars down a touch? Again, that's gone through everything through the gloves of Baxter Holt. It was a huge swing from Kellaway. They'll come back for a second. And some good fielding there from Matthew Kelly. So that's the end of the over. The first one that contains a wicket, so Charlie will be happy. He's got 1 for 13 from his 2. And after 10 overs, we're halfway through. The Melbourne Stars were sending to bat from the Scorchers. They're 1 for 89.
Yeah, they'd be very happy with that knock. Obviously, Harper managing 50, 55, I think he got in the end. 54 in the end. For an untimely finish for him. But yeah, if you ask them where they'd want to be at that halfway point, 1 for 89 is a very, very good spot for them. Doesn't look like they're going to take the power play straight away now that they're into the second half of their innings, Peter Laser.
No, well, that was always going to be if Sammy Harper was facing, I reckon. It could have been a chance. Now they're probably just going to wait for 2 more established batters to be ready to go. Spores from the airport end. And straight away, McDonald's has gone into a little reverse flick, and it's gone racing away across this beautiful surface of DX Arena, and that's 4. Clever batting, just taking off where he finished against Nepal. What a very clever flick. To be able to come out and do that second ball, that's some good batting.
Yeah, 74 he managed in that game off 47 deliveries. Played a starring role against Nepal.
Just really helped that on its way, didn't he? This time stands up, plays a much more conventional pull shot for 1. This ball's just hurried him a touch. So it looks like the foot's down from the get-go here. The Stars know. I mean, they chased down 227. Albeit on the wicket. 2 across from this one, but this being a fresh wicket, it looks absolutely beautiful out there. Not too many complaints, I wouldn't have thought. Be interesting to get the feedback from the batters who've been on there. And that one's hit in the air, and it's gone straight down the throat. That's a poor shot from Kellaway. He'll be very disappointed. Fanning takes the catch. Kellaway gone for 24. And that's a poor end to what was a pretty good innings. Now, Spores taking the wicket. The Stars are 2 for 94.
Yeah, Kellaway was just starting to build into himself. He was playing the second fiddle with Fanning, and then, I don't know, maybe he got into his head a little bit thinking, now I'm the main man. And yeah, as you said, just a poor delivery straight down the throat. Fanning takes his second catch, and it's the first wicket for Matthew Spores.
Just looked a little off balance as he tried to heave that away. Almost caught in 2 minds, you think. Either hit it along the ground or hit it over that fielder, deep mid-wicket, which is a good hit. Let's have a look at it now on the replay. It wasn't a great ball. Probably the wrong end, at the back of the hand a little bit. May have just stayed in the wicket a touch, but we may also just be making excuses for a pretty ordinary shot from Kellaway, who batted well for 24. 2 for 94. He certainly set the platform, though. The Melbourne Stars need to now capitalise in the back half of this innings, as we see Liam Blackford come into bat at 4 for the Stars. From memory, I think Blackford's also a keeper. He's 21 years of age. Won't be taking the gloves today. The skipper will be doing that, but it's always good to have that second string.
Yep, absolutely right. Left-handed wicket keeper.
They always look weird for mine. Even though one of the greatest of all time for Australia was a lefty. That's well bowled. Spores on top here. Hit for a boundary early, but he's come back well.
Former Australian under-19 representative as well. Top scored of 106 and had a solid average of 43.3 in his youth tests.
There's some really good bowling here. Scorchers are fighting back, and that's what you want to see from good sides. Stars had the base that they could have really got away, and the game could have got away from the Scorchers, but they're pegging them back here. That's hit firmly down the ground. Looks like the shot that Kellaway was trying to play. 6 from the over, and more importantly from the Scorchers' point of view, a wicket as well. It's 2 for 95. Spalls will be happy with that. He's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 23. Just gets a little bit of reward for some good efforts and came back well.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough for the bowlers so far today. With, when you're conceding, what were they, 80 before they got a first wicket. I think 86 before when that first wicket fell. You're not going to have many with glamorous figures, but yeah, good to see some reward for effort. And not just the context of the game, but the context of the competition. This is a really important back half of the innings here. Could all slip away from them if they're not too careful.
And that's somehow missed the stumps again. That's a really good point you make. They will. Yes, it's important in the context of the game, but they're 2 and 2. After this, we'll only have one more game to go, the Scorchers. Every team playing 6 games. So, yeah, they won't play each other, but...
And it's only the top 4 progressing through to finals as well. It's not sort of the top half of the ladder makes it in. You really need to be winning at least 5 games and maybe 4 with a bit of luck to be playing off on that last Sunday.
Good start to the over once again from Corey Rocchiccioli.
Perhaps a little bit of added mental pressure there, just knowing that, well, they don't want their week to be over this early, let's put it that way. Melbourne Stars, you'd say have an extra loss in hand. They wouldn't want to lose either, but especially with 2 games against Bangladesh and ACT, this is probably the danger game for them.
Beaten. Well taken also from Baxter Holt. Coming with the gloves today. This is a really good over. Dances down, tries to swat that somewhere in the vicinity of the leg side. It ends up trickling away off the thigh pad of the pad, a little inside edge there as well. So McDonald will claim the run. He's 7 from 5. Blackford 2 from 6, 2 for 97. 1 ball remaining in the 12th over. Goes around the wicket now. That's a really good over from Rocchiccioli, just the 2 from it. And they've really pegged them back here, the Scorchers. Melbourne Stars 2 for 97 from 12. Remembering, they were no wicket for 86 halfway through the 10th over. So this is a really good comeback over the last couple of overs. 2.5 overs, and they've lost a couple of wickets. And they've brought them right back to the pack.
Yeah, last 3 overs when or I guess since that first wicket fell, it's been really, really tight bowling. The Perth Scorchers will be pretty happy with that. I wonder how that's going to influence the decision to take this power surge. They wouldn't want to continue for too many overs, not conceding much. But obviously, if they do decide to take it to get on a roll, it's going to come with the risk of losing wickets. I don't think we'll see it for a couple of overs yet, but just see what happens if we have 2 more tight overs.
It does just add that extra element, doesn't it? Power surge. Jackson to continue. It's down leg side. I'll have to bowl that one again. Jaden Goodwin certainly has shot these bowlers all around. Rocchiccioli, the only bowler who's bowled consecutive overs from an end, so it shows you in this game of T20 cricket, you've got to be ready to go at any stage. That's why a bit of width for protection out of the deep point fence, just the 1. Donald does look like someone, though, who's just in control of his game at the moment. Hitting the ball nice and cleanly from the first ball he's been out there. Blackford now doesn't want to get into a rut. 2 from 7. New to the crease, but wants to keep that momentum going. Long on comes out. Deep backward square, fine leg. Deep third and a deep point. This one's hit firmly. Can't get past Kelly at mid-wicket. That's a pretty good wicket if you can just stand up tall and almost off the front foot try and smack it through mid-wicket. So now there's going to be 6 out. I reckon they're going to find, you need to get a 4th fielder inside. There we go. They're just coming in. Mid-on comes into the circle now. Mid-wicket's gone out. Short, hit in the air and hit beautifully. Well timed. That's gone miles. That's gone over the beautiful picket fence for 6. What a great shot. Pick that up clean as a whistle. That's the sort of shot that can get your innings going. Good hit, Liam Blackford.
And yeah, I was about to say, Peter, they've sort of had enough time to settle in now. You want to see McDonald and Blackford start to build on this partnership. They were given a really good launching pad from the opening pair, Kellaway and Harper, but they were just starting to get a little bit too comfortable.
Just wasn't quite quick enough or quite short enough, was it? And that is the way the wind's going. There's a little breeze that picks up every so often. Have a look at those shots here at DXC Arena. Home of cricket in Darwin. That one tightens him up a little bit. That was a little bit quicker as well. Just jumped on him a touch. Blackford kept it out. Yeah, it's just interesting. The breeze fades away for a little bit and then increases a touch sort of out of nowhere. Everything starts fluttering around for a bit.
Yeah, with that massive airfield, and it's not just the airport, it's the RAF base airfield as well, can be prone to some pretty strong gusts of wind. You're probably hearing one through the mics at the moment.
And he's missed a full toss. Jackson will take that as a dot. I'm not sure Blackford will be all that happy. And he's missed a fully outside off stump. 2 for 105. 43 balls remaining in the Melbourne Stars innings after the Scorchers won the bat flip. Elected to bowl first. Had a chat with Sammy Harper. Said didn't matter. Didn't quite know what he was going to do. Bat first, bowl first. Got to do them all. They're trying to learn as well. Trying to work through the game. But Mackay, the coach, has put a lot of the onus onto the players, certainly the senior players, to take that sort of ownership. Deep third comes into the circle now. Well played once again. Jackson's been good. Another good over, just the 8 from it. 2 for 105 after 13. It's been a good comeback here from the Perth Scorchers. They were in a bit of trouble. Harper and Kellaway going beautifully at the top of the order. They put on 86, the first wicket not falling till the 10th over. But since then, it's been a good comeback. 2 for 20 off the last 3.5 overs. You dare say it's relatively evenly poised here, Will.
Yeah, at this stage, the Scorchers have definitely brought themselves back into the game. He mentioned the choice to bat and bowl first, and not really caring, I guess, as Sam Harper said. And a game like this as well, I think the weather doesn't play into it as much because it's going to be the same from the start to the end of the innings.
Spores is bowled well. That's gone backward a point. A long chase out on the boundary, picked up nice and cleanly just inside Toblerones from Teague Wiley, and of course a strong arm. West Australian all-rounders, they're going to throw them pretty hard and flat, I would have thought. Have a think about that. Stoinis, Green, Cartwright, Marsh, Wiley, Hardy.
Mitch Marsh obviously top scoring overnight as well for the Australian one-day side against South Africa.
Someone needed to. Wasn't the greatest performance from the Aussies there in the 50-over arena. Good cricket though. Marsh bowling beautifully too for his 5-for. And that's in the air but well fielded. So they've got the field where they want them here. This is some good captaincy and some good bowling here from Spores as well. He's come back well. Matthew Spores. Good control. Steps across. Is he hit in line? The umpire says no. And there's some confusion. Chance to run out, but unfortunately Holt's throw goes wide. That's a little bit of pressure just been built up. Be it real or perceived, that Scorchers have put it back onto the Stars here. And they'll think they can chase down any score. If they're bowling first on this wicket, you're backing your batters in to chase any score that's put on. It's in the air and in the gap through cover. It's a beautiful shot. It's going to race away for 4. Perfectly positioned from Blackford. Just gave himself a little bit of room there and timed it beautifully through the covers.
Yeah, really good shot there from Blackford. Maybe the Stars thinking, no, we're still on top here. Don't just stay calm, stay quiet. Scorchers, you're not top dog today.
Plenty of cricket to be played out today, isn't there? I'll get through, scamper through if you like, for the single. So that's 14 overs gone. And again, you'd have to say it's relatively even here. 2 for 113. Spores finishes with 1 for 30. And here's 4 overs.
And it's the second of 4 games in the top end series today. Kingsman and ACT Comets kicked off at 10. And then later on today, you've also got Nepal versus the Renegades out in Palmerston and Pakistan versus the Strikers tonight at this ground here at DXC Arena. Currently, you'd say best bowling going to Corey Rockacholi, the spinner. 1 wicket, the first of the match, and going in a economy of 5 runs. Spores has also done very well. The 2 spinners doing the job. He's got the other wicket. 30 from his 4 overs leaves him with an economy of 7.5.
Yeah, the spinners have bowled well indeed. Kelly's first over was a beauty. Second, not so much, but he's back to the airport end. And that's in between the 2 fielders inside the circle. And it's going to race away to the boundary. It's very unfair, this game of cricket. The bowler can beat the batter and it's still worth the same as if it goes 1 bounce over the fence. Well, we spoke about the other game that's on. This has been the second game. The Chicago Kingsmen, probably the surprise packet of the top End T20 series here, powered by NT Tourism. They have defeated ACT. So now, Chicago Kingsmen are 4 and zip, and ACT go zip and 4, which probably puts it into their finals aspirations. Kingsmen have 1 foot in to the finals on Sunday. Straight going around the wicket now, Kelly.
Yeah, Chicago Kingsmen look very strong in yesterday's game. Played against Pakistan, who you probably thought were another one up the top until they had their second loss yesterday, which now puts them a little bit at odds as well. They need to win their last 2, you'd think, to guarantee their spot in the finals on Sunday.
Well, they made 152, which is one of their lowest scores, but then they've knocked ACT over for 126 in the last over, so it's a convincing win. Well bowled again from Kelly. There'll be an easy single, but that won't mind the Scorchers one bit.
That game earlier today, but you'd think it is the earlier games and the evening games where teams are more likely to think about, I think, the weather conditions as to whether they bat or bowl first or second. Do we want our players fielding in the heat of the day later on, or do we just want to have 2 out there in the crease who sort of will have to face that sun later in the day? This game here, as I said, it's going to be probably 30 degrees and 34% humidity from go to woe.
McDonald, 10 from 10. Whips this out to the leg side. It'll only be a single. Some good protection again. And once again, we're seeing the field placings from Jaden Goodwin and all the work that the Scorchers have done coming to fruition now. There's some good shots from Harper early. Aside from that, I think the Scorchers have reined the Stars in quite well here. Evenly poised, knowing there's still a 2 over power surge to come. Kelly will probably keep 1 over up his sleeve for that. Once again, the easy single, but once again, that won't concern the Scorchers too much. It's really the boundaries you've got to stop here.
Yeah, absolutely, and they have sort of done that. The Stars haven't scored 2 boundaries in an over since that power surge in the 4th over. Otherwise, they've just been tracking it sort of 1 in majority of the overs since. Otherwise, just happy to settle for singles and 2s.
When you talk about an ideal world, a boundary of any of the deliveries and the singles off the rest, you're going at 9 and over. It's not a bad way to be, but the game's never quite that simple.
No.
That's in the air and should be taken. Well bowled and well taken. Just a little quick there on McDonald. Tried to heave it away on the leg side. Didn't get all of it and is gone for 11. Well bowled from Kelly. He gets a little bit of reward, which is always good to see from a bowling point of view. A good over. Now 3 for 120. Just a 7 from it and a good over from Kelly. And the other thing it does, of course, is brings a new batter to the crease.
Yeah, coming into the crease, I think it'll be Jonathan Merlo, who top scored of 41 in that first game. He was probably the Stars' best player. They weren't really in that game, then somehow brought it back to within just 4 runs in the end against the Melbourne Renegades. Otherwise, they've won their 2 games since then. He managed just 3 off 4 and 8 off 4 in those. But Kelly, good reward for effort there, and he's probably been the shining light with the ball so far. Best figures in all 3 games he's played, and that brings up his 9th wicket for the competition. 3 for 33, 3 for 14, 2 for 27, and today his first wicket in the last ball of his 3rd over, I think it was in the end.
It was 9 wickets to put him right up there. And the top wicket takers in the comp. Admittedly, they've played a match or 2 extra on top of others, but still got to take them when you're there. So that's some good bowling. 5 overs remaining now. We're 3/4 of the way through the innings of the Melbourne Stars. They lost the bat flip. We're asked to bat first by the skipper, Jaden Goodwin. Sam Harper mentioning that it didn't really matter whether they batted or bowled first. You've got to do each in the competition. You've got to be able to chase. You've got to be able to set and defend. So this won't be easy. It won't be an easy chase with some good bowlers for the Stars. But they're going to want more than they've got at the minute. Roccacelli's been fantastic. 1 for 15 from his 3. That's a beautiful shot. It's going out to the deep point boundary. They're going to get back for 2. Lovely shot from Blackford. He moves to 21. Can he anchor the back half of this innings and get the Stars to a competitive total? You'd think 170, 180 would be the minimum that they would want. But they're going to have to go at 10, 12 and over. Backs away once again. Exposing all his stumps, but confident enough in the wicket and in his own ability to place that out into the offside. That brings Johnny Merlo on strike.
And you think there'd be a pretty strong message here. Only 4 overs left. Still plenty of time, or 4 and a bit overs left. But they'd want to say to Merlo, make sure you get established early so we can take that power play at the best opportunity here. Pretty straightforward mission, but as we said before, it's easier said than done.
Maybe we'll suit Tommy Rogers, who's going to come in and probably take it straight away if a wicket falls. That's a nice shot. Merlin, never easy just to come out and start hitting cleanly from your first ball. A nice way to get off the mark and get Blackford back on strike. 3 for 124. Once again, exposed his stumps, and once again, just a single. Some great protection out on the offside for Riccioli. 1 for 20. He's got a couple of balls to go today. He's bowled well once again. He has been tight in all his games that he's played. Very rarely conceding too many. Flutter and hard, and that one struck beautifully. That won't be able to be cut off. That's 4. Beautiful strike from John O'Millo. He's only just got out there. His first ball, he got off the mark, and then this one, rock back and smash that through the leg side.
Yeah, I think quietly, Riccioli would have been hoping to keep it below 21. 1 for 24. He still managed a wicket in every game so far, but 24 the most runs he's conceded in this tournament.
Well, he's got 1 ball to go here. And that's an edge. That's a genuine nick. It's going to race away. And could have actually reached the boundary. It will. It just shows how quick the outfield is here at DXC Arena. Jackson was quick, but he was no chance of hauling that in. So Merlo with back-to-back boundaries. And unfortunately for Roccacelli, he ends up with 1 for 28. With 2 balls to go, he's thinking this is quite a handy spell, 1 for 20. But still, he's bowled well. And for mine, he's still the pick of the bowlers. 1 for 28 from his 4. But Mello will take that. He's 9 from 3. 3 for 133. 13 from the over. and just gets a little bit of momentum back in the Stars innings. That's the second biggest over, even though it didn't really feel like it when they were playing.
No, those two late fours certainly helped the cause, and that's the first time they've gotten 2 boundaries since that power surge in the 4th over. They managed 3 from that. They're expensive over, 17 runs. But I think maybe the fact that, that last 4 as well was just a genuine snick that went down, and that outfield helped to carry it over to the 4, just built it up a little bit more as well.
So I think we're seeing the power surge here. I didn't see the umpire indicate it, but with every fielder inside except for 2, it is power surge time. It's going to be Brady Couch who's going to come on and bowl the first of the 2 power surge overs, which we have seen result in wickets as much as they result in some runs.
Yeah, and the Perth Scorchers know that more than any. I think they've sort of turned games in their favour and almost lost games off the back of the power surge so far in this competition.
So deep square leg and deep mid-wicket. The 2 fielders out. Short third and short fine. Mid-on, mid-off, both inside the circle. So there's the spots that maybe Blackford could access for boundaries. Anywhere through the offside. And that's over the offside. It's a beautiful shot. It's one bounce and into the fence for 4. You can't put them everywhere. And this is why the power surge is always an intriguing part of the game, especially in the first innings as a side looks to set.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to sort of disrupt the momentum you've got if you are building nicely, but I think the fact that Merlot's added and gotten out to 9 off 3, it sort of gives them a little bit more confidence in the way they're going now to activate that power surge and really go for it here, try and add on some damage.
Certainly gave it everything. Just flayed the arms at it and over the cover point region it goes. Only slightly bit of room from Brady Couch there. Full toss, and this one's hit hard and hit straight, and that's 4. Back-to-back boundaries for Blackford. He moves to 31. Good shot. Couch just getting the length wrong there.
Scorchers need to be really careful here. They've been really good over the middle part of this game, of this innings, but it's just starting to get away from them. 4 boundaries in the last 5 balls they've conceded.
So deep mid-wicket's going to come into the circle, and Point's going to go back. You could hear the skipper say, just go in front of Point. I'll just be looking to take a little bit of the pace off here, Couch. Does it, but does it too wide. It's all very well knowing what you want to do tactically, but then technically you've got to go out and do it. And the execution's always the hardest part. Well done from Blackford though. Good awareness there. Let it go. Knowing you can get that one re-bowled. 9 off the first half of this over.
He's building up nicely, Blackford. 31 from 24.
Just a little bit quieter out in the field from the moment from the Scorchers. They're not flat, but they're just not as up as they were during those middle overs where they came back. That's full and straight, and that always hurts the inside of your foot. Doesn't matter how hard you hit it, it just always hurts a lot. Good dot ball from Couch, good length.
Good for the Scorchers just to try and stop a bit of momentum out of the Stars' bats at the moment.
There's going to be some more movement here. And this time we see the deep point coming back in. Just thinking every ball. Deep point in, deep mid-wicket out. And toe ends. Doesn't quite come on as Blackford thought it might. It's a good comeback here from Couch. Couple of dot balls. Can he get out of the over though? 9 from it so far. Couple of dots.
Yeah, good resurrection here from Couch. Could easily have been swayed just with those early boundaries, but keeping really tight.
So deep mid-wicket will come in again and Point goes out. And this is what we mean by the field just changing each and every ball, depending on which ball the bowler's going to bowl. Will's just had a wardrobe malfunction, but he's back. Beats again, so A good comeback there from Couch. Was in trouble after a couple of boundaries, back-to-back boundaries from Blackford, but if you can get out of the over, there's just 9 coming from it. I think the Scorchers would take that. 3 for 142. Couch has still got 1 over to bowl as well, and it won't be a power surge over, so I think that's a good response. The other power surge over will be bowled from Matt Kelly. So we took a look at the bowls. Kelly's going to bowl his 4th and final over here. He's got 1 for 28. Just that 1 over. The second one he bowled from that top end, which is expensive, the most expensive of their innings. And again, Scorchers going with just the 5 bowlers.
And over the competition, Kelly has been their best bowler, so you think he'd want to try and maintain that mantle. Hasn't got a wicket today yet. The 1 wicket. 1 for 28 currently going out. Would love to add to that total.
It's going to be Merlot. Deep square leg, deep mid-wicket, the 2 fielders out. That's a full toss. It hit firmly through mid-wicket. There's going to be at least 2. A dive on. Beautifully done. That is some good work out in the deep. Just went to the shortest point to cut that off. That was some really good fielding. We know they've got the wind. It doesn't matter as much with the ball on the ground, but still, momentum is a huge part here. 3 for 144. And that's swatted down the ground for 4. Good shot from Merlot. He's come out with really good intent today. That's a lovely shot. So he got into his innings nice and quickly. Boys doing a great job here. Got worried when the catering box has bananas written all over it, but we've been saved from that. Pushed across. Remembering, of course, that the wide line does move with it. Boys doing a great job here. Merlot, he's 15 from 5. 3 for 149. This is important 16 balls, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Merlot as well. 41, a good knock to start the tournament off, but since then 3 and 8, he'd be disappointed with them. We'll just be hoping to build on this 15 he's got now.
Shorter, quicker, through to the keeper. Some wonderful partners for the top End T20 Series, sponsored by NT Tourism. Northern Territory Government and the major events company getting involved, of course. The Airport Development Group, we're benefiting from some beautiful Novotel and Mercure work right next to the airport. DXC Technology have been long-time partners of NT Cricket. Naming rights partner here at the home of cricket, Marara, DXC. Rain, that's a beauty. That's off the pad and they'll scramble through for a leg bite. Thrifty car rentals have kept us all moving. Geordie Wright went and picked up my car and then just left it with a photo with no real idea of where the car was being left at the airport. It's in this section, he said. So I had to go around just pressing the boot button, hoping that the boot was going to flip up at some stage. What have we got here?
Click the button, will flash and you'll be right. Away you go.
Some will be right, yep. Blackford now 31 from 27. He's been good, he's been very good. Two balls left in this over, in the power surge. Hits it high. Has it got over mid-off? I don't think it has, and good catch. Very good catch taken. Joel Curtis just going back and taking it cleanly. Blackford just not getting enough of it, and he's gone for 31. Good wicket here. Kelly getting another reward for some good bowling. He's come back well after his second over. And the Stars now 4 for 150. And there are 13 balls remaining in the innings.
Yeah, Kelly's second wicket. He'd be very happy with that again. Just sort of, I think that's his 10th now for the competition. So building up a nice tally at the moment. I think that would be close to clubhouse leader at the moment as well. And the important wicket, Blackford and Merlot were just starting to build something, but it doesn't get any easier. Look at that name there, Tom Rogers coming in. What did he get? 128 and no less off 65 balls against the Hobart Hurricanes. That was here at DXC Arena on Saturday. So I probably won't get that same tally with just a few overs remaining here today, Peter Laser, but
it'd be in for something if he did.
Absolutely.
13 balls to face. But that is part of the mantra, obviously, being part of an academy squad as well as giving others opportunities at the top of the order. Rogers knows he's got 13 deliveries. He's got Merlot's hitting him beautifully down the other end, 15 from 7. Kelly with just one ball remaining of his spell, 2 for 35. More expensive than he'd want to be, of course. That second of his overs going for 17, which is always going to hurt when it gets to the end figures, but I think he's come back quite well. The other delivery's just going for 18 between them. Just turns it round the corner. Rogers for the single. He'll take strike for the penultimate over of this innings. So 4 for 151. 9 coming from Kelly's final over. He finishes with 2 for 36. So whilst probably not his tightest of spells, he still came back well after one of those overs going for almost half his runs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they'd be really happy with the power play. They're just 18 conceded. Could be better, but could be much, much worse. And to get a wicket in there as well is probably really important for the momentum as well. They do have two of their danger men, Merlot and Rogers, out there in the middle now. But Rogers just faced one ball so far. Merlot, he sort of started, as Merlot starts, built up a little bit and he slowed down the last few overs as well.
So we're going to have one final change as Bryce Jackson's going to come and bowl his fourth over. 3 overs for 23. Relatively similar figures for all the bowlers here from the Scorchers, just using the 4 bowlers amongst them. A little surprising that Couch didn't continue from the Darwin International Airport end, but he'll probably bowl the last one. That's hit and hit firmly from Rogers. Going to run hard. Merlot's in, but can't get out. Back for the second. So good fielding from Nick Hobson down on the boundary. Just the single. Scorchers would certainly take 12 singles from here. Can the Stars get it up to 170, 175? Going to need 2 12s or a big over in here somewhere.
Yeah, it was certainly looking like they'd finish about 180, 185, maybe even 190 earlier, but Scorchers have done really well to contain the run rate.
Communication issue, just a couple of minutes over. 2 overs to go. Haven't seen any side bowl there, 20 overs in 80 minutes like we're meant to. Backs away, gets the edge, and well fielded. That's some good work. It's always the danger when you bring deep third in that those outside edges can fly away for 4. So some good work just to keep it to 1. Singles will not concern the Scorchers whatsoever.
And as you said, they would have been confident they can chase down any total. If they can keep that under even 165, they'd be even more confident of chasing it down here at DXC Arena.
Goes the flick and we'll get it away for 4. Bit of experience from Rogers there, just using the pace from Jackson and flicks it very fine. Not a bad shot to play third ball. You've just walked out there, but the flick, this is the modern batter right here. Playing all the shots to all the spots on the ground. Just adds more pressure and more questions for the bowler too, doesn't it? And the skipper. 4 for 157. Finally dropping back. Probably should have been back, only had 4 back for that first delivery to Rogers. There he goes short. That's gone over leg stump.
Disappointment from the field.
Huge disappointment. Nicky Hobson heard it here from long on. It was a clear off the glove from long on. Don't think he caught up with it though, Rogers. It's a dot ball, and the Scorchers will take that. It'd be great to see the back of a batter, but more importantly, another dot. 8 balls remaining in the innings. Full and straight. You can set a field for that. That's really good bowling. Jackson has bowled well here without necessarily having too much luck. He hasn't got the wicket that he long deserves and probably as rightly thought was his, but he has bowled well.
Yeah, none for 30 at the moment. Probably deserves a wicket, as probably each of the bowlers do. It's been pretty hard to contain them, particularly when they were on a run early, the Melbourne Stars, but relatively similar figures all round for the bowling attack.
Merlo tries to absolutely hit the bejesus out of that ball, and it goes about 1.5 metres. So a really good finish from Jackson there. He'll finish with no wickets, but no wicket for 30, only going at 7.5 and over, which is a really good effort. 4 for 158, just a 7 coming from the 19th over, which probably means Brody Couch will come and collect the ball and bowl the final over for the Scorchers after they won the bat flip here at DXC Arena. Inserted the Stars to bat first, and they got away to a flyer. They've been pulled back and pulled back. This last over has plenty to it. As you mentioned, if it can be 8 to 10, I reckon you'll find the Scorchers are on top. The Stars can get one away here. It could be anyone's game. Rogers, we know how powerful he can be. That 100 was something else. 128 off 65. 20 boundaries and 3 sixes.
And absolutely turned the game against the Hobart Hurricanes. That was the first century of the tournament. Melbourne Stars on track to make their lowest total so far. 231, 185 and 175. Their 3 best in order.
This is hit hard, but there's protection. I mean, off. Merlot's quick, but he's not that quick.
Meanwhile, for the Scorchers, their top score for the tournament is 141 so far. So they'll need to do better than they have so far in this second innings, but the way it's tracking at the moment, and I guess the confidence they would have had to bowl first, they'd still be thinking this is within reach.
So Couch just trying to get his field right here. Jono Merlo, 16 from 9. He has struck a couple of really clean boundaries. Where's he looking here? There's a deep backward square, mid-wicket, long on, long off, and a deep cover point on the boundary, but now the change. Mid-off's going to come up inside the circle, and fine leg's going to drop back. So there's no one inside the circle on the leg side. A few opportunities on the off, should he want to take them. He's hit that one, but not all that well. Flies out to the boundary once again, it'll just be a single. A pretty good disciplined fielding performance from the Scorchers too. Just the little things. The backing up and the throws in to Baxter Holt with the gloves have been good.
Every time the Stars have threatened to get away as well, they've just sort of reined them back in as well. Haven't let this game get away. We know they're under a bit of pressure in context of the competition. Doesn't look like that's gotten to their heads so far today.
It's true, you only play 6 games, and this is your 5th game at 2-2. Need a win. Have to win, really. Doesn't really get onto it. Another good delivery from Couch. That length is just almost unhittable. Well bowled. Merlo, 17 from 10. Rogers, 9 from 7. 4 for 161. 3 balls remaining. Just the 3 singles from this over as well.
0 for 28. Couch should be pretty happy with those figures as well. So far, knocks of 2 for 38 and 1 for 20. Missed that 4th game, but back in today.
Short and swatted away. It's a beautiful shot. One bounce and over the picket fence it goes. That's 4 runs. Just wasn't in the right spot from Brody Couch. Just missed his mark a touch, and Merlo was all over it. It's a good, clean strike. He moves to 21 from 11. Geez, these last couple of deliveries are going to be important. 4 for 165. Can he get 1 or 2 more away? 4 in the deep on the leg side, and he still found the gap. That's good hitting from Merlot. It's shorter and slower. And a dot ball. Just had to check with square leg, and of course I looked at square leg and he's over at deep point because where the sun and the fielders are. It's well bowled. But we know this one can't be short. So how does Cass get out of it? He just take the pace off a little bit. Just angle in towards Merlot's body. He doesn't want to give him a clean hit, clean swing and clean hit it. Last ball of the innings, 4 for 165. It's full. It's going to be cut off on the boundary. I'll get one. There's no use running yourself out when there's absolutely no chance. So 4 for 166. The Melbourne Stars. A good finish from Brady Couch. Just the 8 from it, including that boundary. So he's finished off quite well. You dare say that Perth Scorchers will be happy with that, because the way Harper and Kellaway were going away early, that could have been 200 plus.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the way it was looking to start off with, particularly after that power surge, 17 off the 4th over, you were thinking they're in for a big score here. They had 50 after 5 overs, and they've managed to restrict that down to 166. Each time the Stars sort of threatened to burst this game open, the bowling attack just brought them back into range, relatively consistent from all the bowlers as well.
You can see the highlights, and there just weren't that many loose deliveries either. Some really good fielding. I thought there was one half chance it went down, which was a great effort, but all in all, I think the Scorchers will walk off DXC Arena pretty happy after winning that bat flip and deciding to bowl first. Anything under 170, 180 is certainly gettable. Harper 54 from 35, anchored the innings at the top. Had a really good partnership with Kellaway, as you mentioned, 86 as an opening stand, but contributions without anyone really getting away and blasting them away. And there we have it, just the 5 bowlers used, all bowling their 4 overs. I thought Corey Roccacioli was probably the pick of the bowlers, 1 for 28. Not just because of his figures, but because of his control.
Yeah, absolutely. Roccacioli was definitely probably the pick of the bunch, and Kelly sort of continued on his way, taking important wickets too. The Melbourne Stars here in Game 21 have set a total of 166. Scorchers need 167 off 20 overs. We'll bring you that second innings after this innings change.
Are you looking to hit your studies for 6? Make the move to Australia's Northern Territory and start a world-class partnership where your potential can glide through boundaries and you can rack up runs in places you've never imagined. Enjoy our laid-back lifestyle and help us build what's next. When this over is over, think about getting on a good wicket and consider studying in Australia's Northern Territory. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
When you move here, it's not just for work, it's for life. Here, culture isn't something you leave behind. It's something you bring with you and share. Great jobs, no long commutes, and weekends that start as soon as Friday ends. From the red desert to the tropical north, this place doesn't just welcome you, it transforms you. Australia's Northern Territory. New boundaries, new territory.
Welcome back to DXC Arena. It is match 21 of the 2025 Top End T20 Series, sponsored by NT Tourism. Pete Laser with you. And next to me, Will Zwar, who have just watched the Melbourne Stars after being inserted to bat. The Perth Scorchers winning the bat flip 166, 4 for 166 from their 20 overs. It's their lowest score of the competition thus far, and the Scorchers, well, they're going to need their biggest score of the competition. Will, how do you see this game sitting after a couple of big overs, but it's just a relatively consistent performance from the Stars with bat in hand?
Yeah, looking at the win viz, it's looking like the Stars are still probably just in front with that score. As you mentioned, their lowest tally, but for the Perth Scorchers, their highest so far is 141, so significantly better than what they've already produced. They also dropped 7 wickets in that clash against the US Kingsmen in the 4th match of the series. In saying that, there is some firepower in the Perth Scorchers lineup. You're looking at Teague Wiley, he's their top scorer for the tournament with 67. Joel Curtis, who is he today's captain? I think he is, and he has also scored knocks of 31 and of 44, so he's pretty handy with the bat as well. They do have the firepower, it's just whether they can all connect today.
Well, Sam Fanning, who has been the skipper until today, is going to be opening up with Teague Wiley, the big Billy all-round. He didn't have the ball in hand today, so he'll be looking to get the job done with the bat. Jaden Goodwin, the skipper today, is going to be at 4. So that's a big top 5 or 6. Nick Hobson, of course, who fielded quite well too. So plenty of batting for the Scorchers, and on a really good wicket here, and a perfect conditions, as it always is here in Darwin for a dry season top-end game. There's no excuses here for the Scorchers. If they want to stay in this tournament, they need a win today. 11 teams competing in the Top End T20 Series, sponsored by NT Tourism. 11 teams, 5 of the Big Bash Academy teams, ACT, NT Strike, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, of course. Some big names and big players who are here in perfect conditions. So let's take a look now. It's going to be Austin Anlazark, who has completely fooled the scorers by wearing number 6 and not number 9. That is an absolute scorer's nightmare. But I've seen him take wickets. I've seen him take wickets in Darwin. And here he goes with the new Kookaburra in hand. A lovely shot down the ground, though. Going straight onto the front foot. That's going to race away to the boundary. In fact, that's going to go for 4. What a start. Didn't try and overhit that at all. Just leant on the ball from Anlazark. Just swung in a touch and beautifully middled and made a great sound off the bat.
Yeah, mentioned they've got the firepower and it's within their capabilities to score. They've started the perfect way with the boundary line.
It's from memory, which isn't all that good anymore, but Austin Anlazark took 5 for last year out at Palmerston in a game for the Stars. Bowled absolutely beautifully. That's rushed him a touch too. He's got some pace about him. And a young fella looking to make his way here with the Stars. He was in the Stars squad. He was added to the Stars squad for last summer.
Memory serves you well. Took 7 wickets across 3 matches in the Top End Series last year, Peter. He was included in the BBL squad when Scott Boland was caught up for Australian duties as well.
There you go. 2 from 2, so it's not completely devoid up there.
Still something ticking along.
There's plenty of room, unfortunately. It's no wicket for 5. The first ball going for 4, of course, and then a single. Third ball of the innings now. They're going to try and get through for a quick single. A direct hit could be interesting, but can't pick it up. That's some good batting, good running. So 167 to win. Fanning started well with the boundary and a single. Wiley off the mark straight away, and just a good addition to his batting as well. We know he can hit a really hard ball, and he's a really powerful man, or young man, but those quick singles, turning the strike over, game awareness, that's good play from Wiley. Especially the better cricket you play, you're not going to get the easy deliveries to hit. He's gone up and over. That's a beautiful shot from Fanning. Using the pace, it's gone up onto the hill. That's gone all the way for 6. How about that? Clean as a whistle, Will.
Yeah, really good start from this Scorchers outfit.
Well, he's just used the pace from Anlazark there. He stepped across. It was top of off. They tell the bowlers to hit top of off more often than not, but that was a beautiful shot. Fanning just relieved of the captaincy duties, and all of a sudden he's loosened up and away he goes. 11 from 3. There's no run there, so the first dot of the Stars innings. It's hard also for young bowlers like Austin Anlazark who come in, have got all the deliveries, bit of pace, can swing the ball. You can't bowl 6 different balls in an over. You've got to actually get into your work, and it's hard when you're bowling at these top-line batters. Just turned 20 in June. That's well bowled as well. Looking forward to seeing the young fella from the NT, young quick Tom Menzies.
Yeah, he had a very good performance out against the ACT Comets in Palmerston the other day. Battle of the Territories, man of the match there. And I think he might be the biggest challenge to Matthew Kelly's leading wicket taker in the tournament so far.
Well, I'm a big fan. I was leading the cheer squad last year when he was part of the NT strike team. It's good to see local talent coming through, getting those opportunities as well, and also playing with Darcy Shaw, Jake Weatherall. Like, how great an experience would that be as well? Well, of course, the coach and assistant coach of last year, Simon Helmet and Tim Payne, they've gone on to be coaching all over the place as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good, I guess, diversity of talent experience there. You got the 4 big bash superstars, and then you've got some local legends as well. Matty Hammond, who's they call him sort of, I think, Origin mode or something along those lines. Just he turns it on when he's playing for that territory team.
Oh, I love it. This is going to be Aryan Sharma. He's only 17 years of age. What an amazing opportunity this is. Doesn't turn 18 till November. A good start. Funny, isn't it, when you're playing open cricket, men's, women's, whatever it happens to be, no one cares how old you are. They just care about what you produce when you're out there. It's well bowled. He's beaten him twice.
And of course, that strike team has a few youngsters like Tom Menzies as well, who's really been able to shine on this stage, not only alongside some of those big name players, but against them as well, and really have a crack into some top quality cricket.
Is there an edge there? There is! Sharma gets the wicket. The young fella gets the outside edge, knocks over Wiley for 1. Good catch from Harper as well. And the Stars, after conceding 12 in the first over, strike back with the early wicket. And that's a big one. Well bowled from the young fella.
Yeah, really great work from Sharma. And it was looking like the Scorchers might get onto something pretty good. And all of a sudden, Teague Wiley, their big hitter, their biggest hitter so far, he's gone for 1.
Good take from Harper. Well bowled. The umpire had no hesitation. Look at this. This is a great angle of it as well. Stayed down, straight into the gloves. It's the easiest thing to say to keepers and the hardest thing to actually do. Stay low and just keep your eye on the ballers. That was a huge swing right in front of his face, but the Kookaburra went straight into the gloves of young Sammy Harper. And that's great for Sharma too, to have Sam Harper behind the wicket, behind the stumps, with the gloves on. It means those chances will be taken, and that gives you some confidence as well. So 1 for 12, an early wicket, something that Scorchers couldn't do with ball in hand. And that brings out Joel Curtis, who's pretty good in the field.
Just Sharma's 2nd wicket of the tournament so far.
He did have a bit of a celebration, like he toiled away. He's only played a couple of the games, but good inclusion. You just like to get that reward for effort too, don't you? It's all very well playing with the lads, but you want you're part of him when you're scoring runs or you're taking wickets, and he's done that. What a start. Dot, dot, wicket. I'll say that if anyone's out there with a young fella, I mean, my little guy's only 4 years of age. Geez, you'd teach him to bowl with the left arm, wouldn't you? Bowl left arm spin, you're going to be a chance. Take it away from a right-hander.
Really adds a different element, point of difference.
I mean, I can't teach him to bowl with his right hand, so I don't know who'll be giving him the coaching. That's good too. Just straightens Fanning up a touch. So wherever you're watching, it's a big hello from sunny Darwin, the dry season up here in the top end. What a spot for the T20 Series, sponsored by NT Tourism. Well bowled again. That's a super over. Just one from it. 1 for 13 from 2. Arian Sharma with 1 for 1 from his first over. He's got the big goggles on. He's got the sparkling diamond in the ear. Going beautifully, the young fella. Don't reckon my old man would have let me have that when I was 7. I don't think he'd let me now at 47. So he's already got me covered, the young man. And as you can see, a good start there from the Scorchers, but it's amazing what a wicket can do.
Yeah, cracking start there from the Scorchers, and then over to it was a complete paradigm shift with the Melbourne Stars taking a wicket and conceding just 1 run through Arian Sharma. This game's sort of going all over the place early. We'll see how the Scorchers can respond from here. It looks like it'll be Austin and Lazark, who I conceded 12 in that first over. They're going to persist with him.
Well, the scorer's still unhappy that he's ironed his number on upside down. He was listed at number 9. Of course, he's number 6. You can see that on his back. Goes the little ramp again, and that's 4. Beautiful shot. Once again, just using the pace. They're going to have to think about where the fine leg needs to drop back. At the moment, they've got a deep third, a deep square leg. That's good batting, though. Curtis joining the party with Fanning.
Yeah, and probably important here for Curtis to try and grab some runs early. Obviously, they've almost lost an over there just with that 1 run and that wicket gone. They do have to chase down what will be their biggest score if they can get there in this game.
There's a little inside edge there onto the thigh pad. And as we suggested, deep third comes into the circle and finally drops back just to give him a bit of protection. Quite a few leaders out there at the moment, the Stars. There's a lot of chat in the field. Kendall Kellaway, John O'Merlo trying to help Sammy Harper with the angles to get them right. Just trying to push fine leg a bit squarer. And that's going to go for 4. It's not, in fact. I do apologise. It was picked up just inside the rope. Harper's getting a glove on it, so it's going to go for 3. It was a poor delivery down leg side. Harper did well in the end to get some glove on it. But
yeah.
3 off none, that's tough.
Important save there, I guess, as well. I mean, 3 compared to 4, it's only 1 run, but they all add up in the end, and I guess just showing that intent in the field early can really sort of set up the fielding side for the day.
Beautiful shot through the covers. Won't go all the way. Rogers will pick it up just inside. They've got 2. They're going to come back for 3. They're going to have to scamper, and they do well. A good chase, but good running there. Lovely shot from Joel Curtis. He's come out with really good intent, using the pace of End Lazark through the covers there. You don't see too many 3s here at DXC Arena. That's the second one from the day. Usually when the field is up is the only chance that you've got. 1 for 23 here. Tries a little reverse flick. There are coaches all over Australia, all over the world, who are bemoaning the brilliance of Glenn Maxwell playing that shot like it's just another straight drive. You need hand-eye, you need quick wrist, you need everything. Not everyone's got that, and a fair amount of skill. Speaking of the great Maxi boy, I'm sure he's tuning in to the coverage here. Loves his Melbourne Stars, bleeds green. Just wanted to start a family and win a tournament. Well, he's done the first part of that. Now he's just got to win the Big Bash. Got a couple of World Cups under his belt, so there's not a lot missing from the trophy cabinet.
He'll be pretty happy with those World Cups as well, I think, Peter.
He's done okay.
They do make a fascinating case, the Melbourne Stars, in terms of those teams in the Big Bash League. Arguably one of the more consistent teams over the history, but the only one not to win the top gong.
Been in 3 finals too. Still, T20, it's that sort of game, isn't it? If you're not winning, you're no chance of being there. But if you're going to be there, then you want to win the whole thing. 1 for 26 after 3 overs. Fanning and Curtis just settling down after the early wicket of Teague Wiley and Sharma collecting that wicket. Still 1 over to go in the power play.
And the diehards still lament that final loss against the Renegades, where they were cruising to a win and then it all just fell apart around the 100-run mark. Probably their biggest opportunity gone. I think they hosted another one as well.
You obviously, no, they didn't know that was at Marvel Stadium at Docklands. I think you obviously didn't get the memo that if the Melbourne Stars are playing and everyone's watching, the Melbourne Stars fans, you're not meant to bring that particular game up. Not a huge amount the Stars players can do about it now, is there? But we saw what the Hurricanes did last year, and they hosted the final and then did brilliantly. Helped with a bloke called Mitch Owen at the top. Was going bananas at the top.
Gone on to bigger and better things.
So Cam McClure has come in for this game at the expense of Doug Warren, who's having a rest. So out with a spinner and in with a pace bowler. He's going to bowl the final over of the power play. 1 for 26. Stars got 44 from their power play. Harper was very good, certainly in his 4th over. Or maybe a little inside edge onto the pad, or just, no, it was just a double noise of the bat hitting pad and the ball hitting the pad and dribbling away for 1. A leg by. 1 for 27. So at the moment, run rate's not a problem. Loss of 1 wicket. Can the Scorchers maintain this momentum? Momentum in their batting has probably been the problem over the first even 4 games. Even the ones they've won, they've had a few little hiccups along the way. And that's going to glide away for 4. Slightly over pitched and a little bit too much room. Just open the hands beautifully, Curtis. He's seeing them really well at the moment. That's 4.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Those games that they have played in so far, even when they've been good, it's just hasn't quite sustained for long enough to really completely dominate games. They have come away with the 2 wins so far, but there's been a few blips along the way, and they'd really want to sharpen up on that.
That's a bit wide. That's very well taken from Harper. He's really had to get the little feet and little hands across. I'm watching Sam Harper in his first ever Shield game, a little 18-year-old, and he was jumping around everywhere. He actually broke the record for most catches on debut, and he's still got that same amount of energy. Probably sleeping slightly better, as he doesn't have the family up with him in Darwin. I think they're going to join him next week in Brisbane. Struck on the pad, big appeal from the bowler. Not overly supported by his teammates. Will be another leg by. So, 1 for 33. Another breakthrough here would be really interesting for the Stars. Try and get stuck into the middle order. Fanning and Curtis looking comfortable at the crease. shorter. And that's come off the glove. So it doesn't quite matter how, it matters how many. And that's gone all the way for 4. Sort of caught up a little bit, but the intent was right, and again, the pace was on, so the ball races down to the boundary for 4.
Starting to have some expensive overs here, the Stars. Want to make sure they don't let it become a habit.
They know they have all the shots, and they do hit 360. That's certainly what happens in modern day cricket. How do you counter that? Short, and that one smashed away again. That's a beautiful shot. That has absolutely raced to the boundary. 2 fielders out, deep backward square, deep fine leg. Neither were any chance of getting that. They didn't have a huge amount of ground to cover, but they were no chance of getting there.
No, that's great. Great batting there from the top order. And expensive from McClure, 13 so far. Still 1 ball to come, and I reckon they'll be pretty close to bringing Sharma back on. He had a cracking over, his first of the innings.
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Do you go with the second over because he did well in the first, or do they get used to that? And that's going to go to down to the fine leg. It won't be 4, as he picked up just inside from Anlazak. It'll be 2 though. And that was off the bat as well, bat and pad. As you say, another expensive over, 1 for 43, so 17 coming from the 4th over. As it did on the 4th over of the Stars innings, Stars were no wicket for 44. The Scorchers are 1 for 43. And Cam McClure will be a little bit disappointed with that over. Just the execution, the ideas were right, but just the execution just a touch off.
Yeah, the Scorchers have sort of made the most of this opening surge here as well. 12, 13 and 17, that's what they managed in the 1st, 3rd and 4th. Sharma did really, really well with a wicket and just 1 run conceded in his first over. Doesn't look like he's going to come straight back into it, though. They might be keeping them up their sleeve. Just looking at the worm there. Pretty consistent so far, though. 1 wicket taken for the Stars.
Hamish McKenzie's going to come on. He's obviously forgotten to iron his number on. Or maybe he left it in Austin Anlazak's room. Left him to do the ironing on of the numbers, and they both failed. It's all very well having the team sheet with a number written on it. The scorers aren't all that happy when you either wear a different number. That's the worst. No number at all. We know young Hamish McKenzie, they played a couple of games of Big Bash last season. Been a few left arm wrist spinners who have gone through the Melbourne Stars lineup over the course of time. On the big MCG, they'll be looking for some things from Hamish McKenzie as well.
It's just his 3rd game of the tournament so far. Best bowling for the side in that 2nd game.
Was that all pad, or did he just manage to little inside edge? The umpire says no, it's all pad, but missing the pegs and 1 leg bite.
Picked up 2 wickets against the Hobart Hurricanes, their first win, but has been a little bit expensive. Conceded 29 in his first and 50 in that same game. He took 2 wickets.
Big appeal, and as always, bowlers cannot believe that's not given out, although he's almost down the non-striker's end when it hit him, so Curtis probably feels fairly safe. As always with LBs, they just got to be plumb. If they're out, they're out. If not, move along. Hasn't quickened the T20 games up at the DRS and the challenges that we now go through as well. But we also don't need 15 minutes checking whether everything's a boundary or not either. So a change in the field here as point comes across to the leg side into a shortish mid-wicket just out of your screen there on the left-hand side. There he is on that 2nd wicket. Down the wicket now. Tries to flay that through the offside. It'll only be one. Things just seem to happen when left arm wrist spinners are on. There's always a lot of arms and legs going everywhere, and there's some energy about the over.
Yeah, it does just feel like there's a little fizzle on, something boiling, something's about to pop over. Will it be this ball?
They're going to hustle through for one, and that's not a great throw at the stumps, but some good backing up eventually. It took a little while for Tony Merlo to realise that he was going to be in the game there. Ken McClure there at short fine, probably still just thinking about his over. Having said that, they are encouraged to have a ping at the stumps, and it's then on the fielders who are backing up. The onus is on them to get up and be in the game. Well, that's the weirdest. It's been called a wide because it has gone down leg side, even though he changed to become a right-hander, which then made it his offside. Hamish McKenzie can't believe it. He said, I was bowling at a right-hander.
Still trying to process and work out exactly what happened.
It was a weird-looking attempted stroke also. A bit more of traditional cricket, and that'll just be a little push out onto the leg side for one. And that completes a different sort of over. A couple of wides. Couple of mishits, couple of leg byes. There we go. No wicket for 6 shows McKenzie. 1 for 50, 7 from it. They're going at 10 and over after that big fourth over of 17 from Cam McClure. I reckon that means they're going to try and take the pace off the ball a little bit, and they are. It's going to be Aryan Sharma again, the 17-year-old.
Looking forward to seeing this guy again. He was brilliant in that second over.
Got the gold chain going. He's got the gold chain. He's got the diamond earrings, maybe. Had the big sunnies on too. They're the sort of cool cats the Melbourne Stars like too. If you're going to be an MCG, if you're going to strut around the best ground in the world, you've got to have that little bit of swagger. And after his first over, he deserves it. 1 for 1. What can the young fella do here? Because the Scorchers are coming, and they're coming hard. In the air, it's in the air, and it's going to fall short. Only just. Blake McDonald coming around quickly. The reverse sweep, in total control of it. Curtis 17 from 12, Fanning 24 from 15. So a good test for the young fella Sharma here. That's whipped away. Once again, it'll be one bounce to the fielder. Sammy Harper's certainly got his field right. They're going to be attacking him too. Does look like the kind of bowler those going to back himself in, back his skill set. Everyone's in the game here. Well done from McKenzie. He was awake to the reverse sweep. Little flick. Couldn't get past short third. Every fielder on the ground knows that they're a chance here. That's down leg side, so that'll be a wide and that'll be worth 2. Another ping at the stumps. Cam McClure again. Third time might be lucky for him.
It has been a weird start to this innings.
It's a good description. Haven't seen a huge amount of traditional shots, have we? There's been a lot of reverse flicks and little laps, and
that first over, the Scorchers looked really dominant, and since then they have managed a few big totals, but a lot of that has been more bad bowling than good batting, or consistent batting, I should say.
Now we get back to a bit of traditional cricket, just punch down the ground for one. Tell you what though, despite those couple of wides there from Sharma, they'll be taking this, just 5 of the first 5 deliveries.
And the run rate is still in favour of the Scorchers.
Another sweep, that's a beautiful shot, but again, there's going to be a fielder there to pick it up and fling it in, and Lazark with the throw. So again, another good over from Sharma. It's the 6 from it. 6 overs gone, 1 for 56. Just because I know you love comparisons. Well, Melbourne Stars with no wicket for 56 at the same time.
And I wouldn't have thought that, but maybe that's exactly what you would have thought given how bizarre this start to the innings has been just over a quarter of the way through. Teague Wiley, the big hitter, he went out for just 1, caught off Sam Harper. Beautiful bowling from Arian Sharma, a wicket with his 3rd ball. Otherwise, the Stars bowlers probably their own worst enemy at the moment.
Taking a little bit of pace with the ball over the last couple of overs. Hamish McKenzie again from the Darwin International Airport end. Well fielded. Sharma again, just in the game, the young fella. Just grazing himself off the 2nd wicket. No one likes fielding in that 2nd wicket position. Just hurts. Everywhere you dive. We turn around the corner. Run the first one quickly. That's some really good fielding though. Looked almost like a ping at the bowler's end there from Christian Howard. To no avail. There's no run out on.
McKenzie should be wearing number 14 today, but he's apparently forgotten to iron it on this morning, and a few wardrobe malfunctions out there in the Stars kit room today.
Is it worse to not iron it on or to iron it on upside down like Anlazar? I'm not sure. It's well bowled again. Sort of fallen over there. McKenzie's slipped after his delivery stride. Got a real Dirk Nannis feel about it. Only at about 100 kilometres less per hour though.
His bowling not bad, conceded 7 off his first and just 3 here so far. It does feel like the Stars bowling can and probably will tighten up a little bit here.
They're all slightly in off the boundary at the moment too. Aware they don't want to give away the 2s. It's been a good comeback here. McKenzie and Arian Sharma bowling in unison. Just trying to reel the Scorchers back in, which is what happened in the first innings when the Scorchers put their spinners on.
Yeah, Spores and Roccatroli containing the Stars. Now the Stars turn here.
It's going to go fine. It's going to race down to the final lead boundary. It'll be pulled up just inside. Once again, it's Cam McClure who's had to do a mountain of work. And we'll come back for a couple. Umpire says that was up the bat. They'll take a couple there. 1 for 61. 1 ball remaining in the 7th over. 167 the target.
Another rare 3 here at DXC Arena.
Got on the reverse and got that really fine. That's going to race away to the boundary. You can't really put a field in for those. That's gone amazingly fine. And what started off as a really good over has ended up quite expensive for McKenzie. 10 off it, 1 for 66. 101 required from the final 13 overs. 101 from 78. 1 wicket down. Dare I say it, Scorchers are in the absolute box seat at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of slowly built up, and it doesn't really feel like Fanning and Curtis are quite in their groove yet, which is maybe a little bit scary for the Stars because it means there's possibly a little bit more pain to come. But 23 and 31, that's where they're sitting at the moment. They're starting to build a nice partnership together. 101 required from 13 overs at a run rate of 7.77. They're definitely in the box seat here if they can just chip away. And as we said, it's a bit easier said than done, Peter, but if they can go a boundary and a couple of singles each over, they'll be pretty happy with that.
It's going to be Cam McClure who went for 15 off his bowling. 17 was the over. It was the last of the power play. So he's got more protection here. He's got the deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on. The long off and a sweeper over on the offside boundary. Now long on is going to come in. No, long off's going to come in. They've just swapped it around. Campbell Kellaway's swapped over. And now, of course, deep third goes out and mid-wicket comes in. So everything we just said about the field placement, well, that's all changed. Good luck keeping up. Fanning 31 from 21. Facing McClure now. He's going to try and come back. He's hit that beautifully. It's a clean strike. Beautiful shots. Clean as a whistle from Fanning. And I have to say that was in the slot and ready to hit. And Fanning obliged. He's batting well.
Yeah, be happy to be troubling the scorers a little bit more today, Fanning, than he has elsewhere in this series. Prior to today, his top score just 14.
Advances and beaten by McClure outside the off stump. Having a little chat. Not quite sure what you can say to someone after being hit onto the hill. Great thing about cricket though, isn't it? One ball goes on the hill, you beat him the next ball, you can get stuck right into them as the bowler. You only need one good one to knock him over. Slower ball, and that one's swatted away into the leg side. Some good fielding though, down on the boundary. And the Zuck's done really well. It's not easy. You are staring into a bit of the afternoon sun as well. So to get around and get fielding done. Good partnership too from Fanning and Curtis. Coming together for the first wicket. 1 for 12. Great knocks.
And that partnership suddenly built up quite strongly and healthily, and now it's the Scorchers who've given themselves probably a better launching pad than what the Stars could do.
It's about momentum, isn't it, at the moment? At the moment, it's all in the Scorchers' way. Bounces him, almost chops it onto the stumps. Did well to reach it. I reckon you could see that was going to be a short ball from about 3 strides out from McClure. He really had to dig that in. It's quite a handful when he gets it right. Cam McClure. 1 for 74. Stars with no wicket for 74 after 8 overs, so head-to-head it's similar, but they didn't really go on with their innings as much as we thought they would. 89 at the halfway mark, all done for 166. It's going to be a quick single, going to have to hurry, and doesn't pick it up, so there's an easy single there. Blackford trying to pick it up in one hand, flick with the other. Yeah, 67 from the, 77 from the last 10 was probably just unders for the Stars. Only been 1 down at that 10 over mark.
Yeah, they would have liked to have gotten a little bit more. They started so strongly as well, and they didn't really drop off at all. They maybe just didn't make the most of the opportunities they had. Instead of getting 7s and 8s in overs, they were getting 5s and 6s, and it all just added up. Or didn't, I should say.
Another slow one. This one Struck through the offside firmly by Curtis. And that'll be another single. Another over gone. Another 10 from the over from Cam McClure. He's got 2 overs 25. Scorchers now 1 for 76 after 8 overs. Fantastic partnership between Sam Fanning and Joel Curtis at the top of the order here after Teague Wiley was gone for 1. And the Scorchers were 1 for 12. But since then, it has been all Perth Scorchers. And the answers have been few and far between for the Stars.
Yeah, and just looking at those last 2 overs as well, 10 off each of them, it doesn't really feel like they necessarily got onto them. You'd look back and think, oh, maybe they got sort of a 6 and a 7 or a 5 and a 6, and it's 2 10s just because they've sort of kept making the most of their opportunities where they are. Sam Fanning now 40 off 26. He's well on his way to a good innings. And Curtis 24 off 18, making up for, I guess, where Teague Wiley might have fallen over.
Fairly handy 6 helped as well along the way up onto the hill. Campbell Kellaway's going to come on. Still got the short hair that his partner didn't love when he shaved off just before the awards last year. I thought it looked quite good. It looked like he had a big 1980s wig before that. And that's a beautiful shot. So easily done. It looks easy. It's so difficult to execute. Kellaway sort of just putting it there, and 2 batters that are in and in form, they have hit that beautifully.
I mean, you're right, that looks sort of effortless in the end, and it's not an easy shot to pull off by any means, certainly not something I could muster up at all.
If you could hit that, you're not sitting here with me, Will, I can assure you of that, mate. Beautiful shot from Joel Curtis. They've complemented each other well here, Fanning and Curtis. And now down the ground and hit firmly through the covers. Plenty of work to be done, and it isn't done, and that's 4. Back-to-back boundaries to start an over. That makes the job for the Stars and Campbell Kellaway very difficult. Curtis moves to 32 from 20. 1 for 84.
Starting to push that run rate up, and it's getting away from the Stars here. They need to be tight the next few overs.
This time sort of walks down the wicket nonchalantly and just pops it into the leg side. Just little things, little throws from the Stars that haven't quite gone into the gloves of Harper. Scorchers was just a little cleaner in the field. Got to remember too, 11 teams playing 6 games, only the top 4 make it. Run rate's going to come into it as well.
Can't help but feel like the Stars are just letting an opportunity slip here.
How would they change it up? What do you think? Who has the key to coming on and maybe making a difference here for the Stars? Because they're going to need something. That's short and that's pulled away. Again, there's protection down on the deep.
Could be the man in front of us here, John O'Merlo. 1 for 8, best bowling in that first game. Not typically a bowler, but he's been pretty good with what he has done so far in this competition. Otherwise, I'd love another few more wickets from Sharma when he gets his chance.
The early call was 2. I think he's hit it a bit too hard, and then a fumble. It's all the little things going against the Stars at the minute. Most of them self-inflicted, it must be said. 2 more means there's 13 from the over, and it's 1 for 89. We're not even quite at the halfway mark as yet. 1 for 89. Fanning's 43, Curtis 34. They've put on 77 for the second wicket and now require just 7 runs and over for the remaining 11 overs. Remembering, of course, that there is the power surge still to be taken. It's probably the flip side when you're chasing. Everything's going well, you're pushing them around, you've got absolutely no scoreboard pressure. If I was the Scorchers, I would be putting that well and truly deep into the back pocket and not thinking about it till the 19th over if required. Why change the game, which is in your favour?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we sort of saw the Stars playing it out that way, and then they pulled it out in the 17th, 18th over. maybe they could have made a better total if they'd pulled it earlier, but they probably wanted to wait until they got their bowlers a little bit more established. And it is going to be Jonathan Merlot having a crack at it, just trying to keep that run rate down.
So he's sending deep third to the boundary as his fine leg, deep square leg, long on, and the sweeper on the offside. So he's got plenty of coverage. But Curtis has been hitting into all parts of DXC Arena. Dances down, hits it over mid-off and cover. It's a lovely stroke. It's racing out to the cover boundary. We picked up just inside. They've got 2. And once again, they're going to come back for 3. Maybe not as rare as we thought, with some really athletic running between wickets and putting the pressure back onto the bowling side. Good shot from Curtis, 1 for 92. That's full, and that's hit straight down to deep fine. No mistake from Cam McClure.
Needs to keep a cool head here, Merlot. Banged one way, then banged the other.
It's just that pace. He doesn't mind changing his pace. He's got plenty of varieties, but the way that Curtis and Fanning are seeing him at the moment, they're finding gaps where maybe they aren't many. No one's hit just calmly in the air. No risk with mid on down on the boundary. They look comfortable though, don't they? Fanning and Curtis at the minute. Jaden Goodwin taking the captaincy role off Sammy Fanning for this game. And he's batting accordingly. Relaxed as ever. And that's a great shot. He has absolutely smashed that. And that's gone for 6. Easy, as I said, he's looking comfortable. That's to bring up a 50 from 30 balls with that sort of shot is unbelievable. How would you describe that, Will?
Oh, that's a great knock. I was going to say they're not really playing with too much brash behaviour either, but that is just a confident stroke.
It's a short arm swat. That's gone the best part of 75 metres. That's a great hit into a bit of a breeze. So the deep mid wicket goes out. Fine leg comes in. So he pushes into the gap. 2's the early call. They've got 1. They're going to come back for 2. It's going to have to be a good throw. It is. The umpire says home. Still on the treadmill a little bit when he started that second run, but got home, which is all that matters. Moves to 52. Great partnership here from Fanning and Curtis. Good balance between the two, certainly with balls faced as well. Merlot's going to go over the wicket now.
I said he could be the man to change it up. They listened to me, but I don't know if that was necessarily the right option. Scorchers.
Had to try something though.
Now over 100.
They call 2. I don't think they'll get 2 on this occasion. Hit a little straighter to the fielder. And we'll just get the 1, but still 14 off the over at the halfway mark. 167 is the target. And the Scorchers are well on their way. They're 1 for 103. Fanning 53. Curtis 38. John O'Merlo going for 14 from his over. And if we just have a look at the Manhattan here, I always say comparisons don't matter so much, but the Manhattan does show you that there have been more big overs than not for the Scorchers over the Stars.
Yeah, and a lot of those ones in the middle where they are sort of pretty similar, it just looks like the Scorchers have gotten 1 or 2 more as well. So they're sort of winning on those I guess, similar comparisons too. Probably just the tail of the tape is the Scorchers are making the most of their opportunities where we didn't realise at the time, but the Stars maybe weren't.
The thing we said about the Stars, of course, is that they were only 4 down at the end. Could they have gone just that little bit harder and taken an extra risk or 2? So Austin Andelzak's going to come back on from the Darwin International Airport end. That's in the air, but there's no fielders inside the circle through that cover point region. They'll come back for an easy 2. Say at the airport end, you can always hear the planes taking off and landing. Don't think any of them are from Melbourne or Sydney during the day. And they just stick to their 11:45 p.m. and 12:30 a.m. flights, which is not the greatest time to fly.
No, it makes for difficult travel back home or back south or back wherever you're going.
Gee, it's worth it when you get up here, though. It's 33 and fine.
Yeah. Shorts and a t-shirt and you're looking good.
It's in the air, but it's not going to carry down to deep third. It'll just be a single. Even their mishits seem to be flying off the bat at the moment. Fanning 56. Scorchers 1 for 106.
That run rate now up at 10.26. And they're really, really making a big divot into this total. They've got to pull away.
So the best way to slow the run rate is to take wickets. Who's going to take wickets for the Stars here? As they pull out that first delivery. I do like how Austin Anlazak runs back to his mark though. He's always ready to get through his overs. And that's slayed through the offside again over the outstretched fingertips of Aaron Sharma. And 4 more just inside that thrifty sign. And they are flying at the moment, the Scorchers. Curtis 42, Fanning 56. And Anlazak, has he got any answers here? He's going to go around the wicket to try something different.
Anlazak, their top wicket taker so far for the tournament, but today he's just not looking likely at all. He's been belted all around the park, been quite expensive.
That first ball that he bowled wasn't the worst and still went for 4 down the ground. That was from Fanning as well. That was quicker. Just a little bit of that fast bowler's anger, which we like. 32 from his 2.4 overs, 25 from his first 2, which didn't necessarily bowl poorly. They just pounced on anything that was a bit of room or a little too full. Now the breeze is gone. There's not a breath. Now again slayed through the offside, and again it's going to go for 4. Curtis at the top of his game at the minute. That's a beautiful shot. Waited and then struck it perfectly. Great timing.
And it's nearly getting to panic station for the Stars. They really need a circuit breaker here. Just something to shake it up, because if they just keep doing what they're doing, it's going to be a quick game.
And that also brings up the 100 partnership between Fanning and Curtis. Came together at the fall of Teague Wiley at 1 for 12. Hasn't even taken them 10 overs to bring up their 100 stand. And that's smashed through the league side. Really good fielding. Super effort. It's Christian Howard there at mid-wicket. Just a little bit of frustration creeping into Anlazak's delivery there. But it's some more good batting. 13 from the over. Anlazak's gone for 38 from his 3. It's 1 for 116. I must say, with just 51 required, and they've got 9 overs to do so. 51 from 54. I dare say, though, they're not going to take the foot off the gas. In fact, so much so that's probably going to be power surge time. Now, it didn't work for them against Pakistan. They still got the win, so there is that. They also lost plenty of wickets. They were 8 down chasing 111 when they were absolutely cruising. So this is an interesting part of the game. As we always say, they know plenty about the game. They want to try and put themselves in different situations. I just would have thought that if you're 1 for 116, 2 absolute set batters who've put on a century stand, for mine, there's not a huge amount of point in going for the power surge. It does bring your man back though, Will. Arian Sharma. Now they've gone with 3 out. You can't do that.
So looks like one's coming back in, and I think that power surge has been activated, as you said, earlier than I would have thought. I would have thought they might have kept cruising and keeping their back pocket, but they're going to go for it.
So it does show good positive intent. I understand that. Also, it might just bring Stars back into the game if a wicket or two falls, especially the set batters. It's well bowled again from Sharma, well fielded. Stars just need to lift their rating in the field a little bit too, don't they? Just to cut off everything they can, stop whatever they can, stay in the game and take it as long as they can. Because 50 from 53 with 9 wickets in hand, it is all one-way traffic.
They have seemed a little bit weary in this second innings as well.
That's hit, and hit beautifully down the ground for 4. Tell you he's not weary, and that's Curtis. Joel Curtis brings up his 50 off 29 deliveries. It has been a masterclass since he got to the wicket. And between him and Fanning, they have put on 109 and looked very, very comfortable.
Yeah, they're absolutely looking the goods here, and even if, dare say, one of those wickets were to fall, I think they've built up enough of a base here that when your required run rate is only 5.31, you can just sort of slowly tinker and toil away.
They're not going to tinker and toil if they've taken the power surge. They want to get this done, don't they? They want to put the foot down and exert their dominance.
Get back into the swimming pool. Lovely 31-degree day here up in Darwin on Larrakia country.
Beautiful pools too at the airport resorts that we've got. Mercure and Novotel, goodness. And that's missed. Was that a miss? No, there's a little edge in there. We'll look to the umpire. This is, yep, there's a little edge there. The Airport Development Group, they've got these 2 beautiful hotels, Mercure and Novotel, right next to the airport. Quite literally just walk across after your plane lands and you can jump in a pool. Just pop the toe in this morning. It's a little bit on the chilly side. Not as cold as it was just in the air back in Melbourne, as you said. Still had that covered.
A good refresher though for you, that's for sure.
Something. 1 for 122. They put on 110. That was quicker and flatter. Sharma's bowled well here. 2 overs for 7. This is 1 ball remaining in the third. They'll be looking to get after him here, Fanning. Lifts it high. It's going to race across the DXC arena outfield. It's going to be 4 more. Sharma hasn't done a lot wrong there. In fact, probably beat him in the air as well. Fanning's just seeing them so well that he could adjust as he danced it down the wicket. I think he'd almost adjusted his shot and just timed it beautifully. Another boundary.
And you're right, Sharma, he's really done a lot right there and probably still the pick of the bowlers today, but that one just got away from him. In the end, he goes for 10 off that over. And the Scorchers have made for a pretty interesting case this tournament. This is probably the first time they've had 2 of their really talented batsmen just connect together. They've sort of had a few shows. Teague Wiley with that 67 in the first innings. Apart from that, I think their next biggest score, 37 from Spores, who we know started as a batter, but he's done really well with the spin bowling earlier today. And finally, Curtis and Fanning, a dual pair of 50s.
So to bowl the second of the power surge overs, it is going to be Cam McClure, who's also gone the distance today. Went for 15 from his first over, 10 in his second. Takes pace off, and that's well bowled. But even the power surge overs are sort of indicative of what you were saying before. The Stars getting 9 off theirs and 9 again. So 1 for 18 from their 2. And even a relatively sedate over from Arian Sharma, and they still got 10 from it and never looked in trouble. It's a beautiful shot. That's just a great cricket shot. A little bit of width, a little bit over pitched, and Curtis just as clean as a whistle through the offside.
It's middle of a dry season here, but that sounded like a thunder strike that you'd see typical of the wet season. That was a brilliant shot.
Jeez, he hit it cleanly, didn't he? And the sound really does resonate around DXC Arena as well. Just that slightly over pitch and slightly too much width there.
Be good to see another ball hit that fence and just poing the whole way around here at DXC Arena. It was a great sound if you missed it earlier.
Not if you're on the bowling side. Slower ball, this one. Bit of length though, more a Yorker, sort of wide Yorker length. Tough to hit. Tony Rogers just fielding that at point. Always got plenty of advice for all of his mates out there.
And gee, it's tough reading for the Stars. 37 required from 45 balls and 9 wickets in hand. They have a lot of work to do today.
Pace off, and that's smashed down the ground. Is it going to make it? No, just inside the rope for 4. One bounce into the fence again. Just took the pace off, but Curtis just seeing them like beach balls at the moment. He absolutely smashed that over mid-off. Both batters on 61 here. And funnily enough, they've put on 122. It doesn't happen all that often, of course. Fanning had a couple before he came out, but both on 61. What a partnership this has been. This has been the partnership of the tournament thus far. 8 from the 4 balls so far. 2 balls left of the power surge. And goes a little ramp. It's going to get over short forward. Fine, it does. Some good fielding though. Keeps it to 2. And a wayward throw. And just sort of indicative of everything that's happened here from the Stars. Just been a little bit off in everything. Started the game well. But since Harper went out, there's just been little missteps along the way. Some good moments, but just not enough of them going back to back.
Yeah, and you wonder if potentially there's a few of them out there. It's day 6, I think, of the competition. For them, it's game at number 4. Are they getting a little bit tired, a little bit restless? It's a beautiful day, but it is a hot day. The sun pelting down, not much escape, no cloud coverage to give you a few minutes of reprieve. They may be just getting a little bit tired.
And that should be out. And he's out. So McClure gets the wicket. Curtis goes for 63. A really well made 63. And the big best partnership of the competition comes to an end. 124 run partnership. Curtis 63 from 37. It's 2 for 136. You'd have to say that the damage has been done. Ken McClure gets a wicket for his trouble. He has 1 for 35.
It sort of came out of nowhere, that wicket as well. It didn't really feel like there was any pressure mounting or bubbling over, and sometimes that is just where they fall. Maybe the Scorchers pair getting a little bit comfortable, and that one straight to Howe. Pretty regulation catch.
10 fours in Curtis's 63. 63 from 37. That's a fantastic knock, and just as importantly, a fantastic partnership with Sam Fanning, who now falls on his shoulders to see his team home. Jaden Goodwin is the skipper. Has he come out, or have they sent out Nick Hobson? I reckon they've sent out Nick Hobson. They have. So the skipper just pushing himself down the order a bit. And it is that tournament as well for the academy sides. They need to get plenty of cricket and match conditions and simulations. Well, there's no better simulation than actually playing a match, is there? So Hobson will come out, who we've seen that well in the Big Bash.
And I guess from a coaching and management perspective as well, you want to use opportunities like what the Scorchers have given themselves today to play certain people in certain roles as well, give them opportunities that they might not otherwise get if it's a tighter game.
So they need 31 to win, 42 balls to go. You dare say that part of the equation is pretty simple. And Lazark to bowl his fourth and final over.
He was a bit angry after his last over, and Lazark, I'm hoping we see a little bit of that come out here, because you just feel like there's something brewing in him as well. Hasn't got a wicket today. It's been a little bit expensive over the course of the tournament, if my memory and stats taking has anything to say for it. 1 for 50 he got in that first game. Can he pick up a couple of wickets here? I don't want to call them consolation wickets just yet, Peter, but he'd love to get some reward for his effort today.
And that's in the air, and that's gone. There's a wicket for him. So Lazark gets a wicket. Not a huge celebration. A good catch, it must be said. It was flying to Christian Howe. He's taken both the catches in this innings, but cleans a whistle. So promotion of Hobson hasn't worked. And he's gone. First ball.
Goodwin sent himself out now.
Well, we said that the equation won't change too much. It just cramped him for room, just a touch. There is that element you've been seeing. A couple of left-handers hit him all over the park, and as easy as you like, you do think when you walk out there you can continue on just where they've left off, but cricket doesn't quite work that way. And Hobson's gone for a duck, and Lazark gets a wicket. Jaden Goodwin now comes out 3 for 137. You mentioned forbidden collapses earlier on in the call, Will.
I didn't want to say it again. I was thinking
yeah, I
it,
could see
but
it
I
on
didn't
your
want
face.
to. I didn't want to say it again.
I could see it on your face. Just that silly little grin came across it. Oh, can upset a few of the Stars fans by mentioning this again for no reason.
Hopefully for them, there's good reason.
As my grandfather always said, cricket is a funny game. Not quite sure it's this humorous though if you're a Stars supporter. Goodwin to face Lazark. That's an outside edge. A bit of work to do for Mackenzie down the boundary. Picks it up cleanly, and skipper Goodwin will come back for 2.
Fanning running down there, I think with his thigh pad and gloves still in his hand.
Ricky Ponting at the end of a domestic one-day final type running, taking the pads and gloves off. It's amazing with all the breaks in the game that we can't be fully padded up and ready to go when you need to. And beats the outside edge. It's the mini comeback here from the Stars. Just a wicket in each of the last 2 overs. How they'd love to get Fanning. It may be a bridge too far, but take the game deep. Take it as long as you can.
A little bit more voice coming up. We've sort of been missing that from the entire innings from the Stars as well. Scorchers had patches of it throughout theirs.
Let's punch in the offside. A direct hit be interesting. Oh, he had him on toast, I reckon. That's the last thing Fanning would have wanted. He's worked hard to get to 62 from 38. Doesn't need his skipper coming in and running him out. You dare say now, these are the sort of times that Fanning can just take control of the innings again. There's no rush, but you also want to get the job done as quickly as you can. Probably inside 17, 18 overs is what they'd like to do. Just turn around the corner, take the single, last ball of the over. Clever batting. 5 from it and a wicket. That's Lazark's best over, quite comfortably. He's got a wicket now, 1 for 43 from his 4, so he's done for the day. Scorchers 3 for 141. They require a further 26, and they have 36 balls in which to do so with 7 wickets in hand.
And looking at the Stars bowlers there, as you can see, singles each to Anlazak, Sharma and McClure. Pretty dire reading. Sharma, the best of the lot of them, 17 runs he's conceded from his 3 overs. Anlazak, well, it was a pretty tough go there for him. 43 he conceded, but ended up getting a little bit of reward for effort and a really tight over to finish off.
But even that 5th bowling option, Kellaway and Merlot, 27 from 2 overs. That's a big 5th bowler, if you like, for want of a better term. It's going to be Hamish McKenzie to come back on from the Darwin International Airport end. Again, Fanning just in control now. He's not trying to break any records here. He's just trying to get his team home comfortably. And he's batted really well. He's hands down been the best batter we've seen. I mean, a great knock from Joel Curtis, 63 in a partnership of 124. But Fanning from the start, from that first ball, he's had great intent and great execution.
Yeah, 11 runs he got in that first over, and he's really just built from there. Look confident all day.
McKenzie's taken another tumble. He's looking at the wicket like the wicket's doing something to him. I have to admit no one else has actually slipped over there.
Just looking at that last over from Anlazak as well. 5 he conceded from it. It was the first time in 8 overs that they conceded less than 10. So a bit of an indictment on their bowling innings. The Stars conceded 1 in that second to Sharma, 6 and 7 in the 5th and 6th, and otherwise it's all multiples of 10. Well, not multiples of 10, but above double figures.
Good in there from John O'Merlo. Keeps it to 1. And we saw that on the Manhattan, didn't we? The various overs. There were just so many more that the Scorchers were towering over the Melbourne Stars. You had that feeling it was just a few under from the Melbourne Stars. Certainly from the start they got as well, but just how this pitch and ground play. And you mentioned earlier on in the call, Will, day games, 1 o'clock games, local time. The conditions are very, very similar for both sides. No dew, no breeze coming through, no underlights. And the Scorchers seemingly doing this easily.
McKenzie, another one has been okay today. He'd love a little bit of reward for effort, and Stars would love him to celebrate too.
So change in the field. This backward point inside the circle comes across the mid-wicket. Just going to try and keep the pressure on here. Maybe just try and keep Fanning on strike so Goodwin faces up for the next over. Doesn't work though as he finds a gap, as he has done all game. It's a good theory from the Stars, but it's hard to execute against someone who's in this sort of form. Fanning moves to 66, 3 for 146.
And a pair of 5s in the last 2 overs, but ultimately too little too late. They already require, well, they need to keep the Scorchers to less than that anyway, so a pair of 5s ultimately doesn't really help their cause. 4.2 the required run rate at the moment.
Does just keep them in the game for a bit longer though. We talk about stretching it out. 15 overs gone, 3 for 146. They're comfortably getting this done. And there's still that 1% on Will Viz. What did you call it before? Zwa.
Win Zwa. Zwa win. Zwa win, we'll go with. The soon-to-be famous Will Zwa score.
You know you've actually got to put more effort into it as opposed to just reading off the screen. I'm sure Duckworth Lewis is just sitting there going, hang on, I had a bit to do with this. So McClure in his final over. Fanning turns around the corner, be looking for 2. Someone's in quickly though. Well fielded. We only get the 1. It's almost like the Stars have increased their intensity once the game was already out of their grasp.
Potentially it's them now looking at the fixture and thinking, okay, now we're going into Game 5 with a 2-2 record. Let's try and mitigate the damage and make sure that after all 6 games are done, we've got a competitive run rate.
4-2 with a good run rate should get you in. I say should because, of course, with 11 teams playing 6 games, you're no guarantee to play the teams that you need to beat to get in there. Chicago Kingsmen 4-0 at the minute after their big win against ACT. Unfortunately for our nation's capital, ACT, they are 0-4 and probably here to enjoy the sunshine and get something out of the last couple of games. Beaten again. McClure can get it through when he wants to. Bends his back, bit of an effort ball. Just a bit of support for Ken McClure here. He's been okay since coming back. Went for a few in his first couple of overs. That struck hard. Well fielded though. Little ping at the stumps. He's been good in the field. Christian Howe must be said. Taking a couple of catches and clean hands when required. 19 from 27.
A good over here from McClure. Just trying to keep that run rate down. Needs to keep it to below 4 if he can.
We know Goodwin's a really good player, but as we say, it's not that easy just to come out and start hitting. So to keep Fanning away from the strike has been good bowling, good captaincy. And that's an edge. That's going to fly down. McKenzie's been good. Gets around quickly. Lets it go. Still come back for 2. Did well just to stay on his feet at the moment.
The US Kingsmen, the only undefeated team to date still, Peter. Next up, they come against NT Strike, who've lost just the 1. So a top 2 clash tomorrow at Gardens Oval. That will be a fascinating watch, must viewing for cricket fans.
I'm going to be out there tomorrow. 2 games at Gardens.
Pick of the bunch.
Let's just hope the second game finishes nice on time before the sun sets. We all know why. If you're Gardens Oval and the game finishes on time, there's plenty to enjoy straight after. 2 games out there tomorrow, of course. And that one smashed through mid-wicket. It's going to be a huge chase, and they're not going to get there. That's 4. So Goodwin may not have been out there for too long. McClure just took the pace off a little bit, but it sat up and said, hit me, and Goodwin said, thank you very much, I'll do just that. And he'll move to 11, and now just 13 more required to win.
Thursday night at Gardens. There'll be the middle markets on. I'll be at footy training on the Oval next door, Peter.
I will not be coming to watch.
And I wouldn't expect you to, just pre-season at this stage.
I love my cricket and I love my footy, but after 2 games of T20 cricket, maybe just head to the surf club or sailing club. Beautiful shot for no run. There's plenty to do up here. NT Tourism done a fantastic job. Gav Dovey and the team from NT Cricket as well. He's got a team that he's put together. Some really hard workers. I met the media team this morning when I came in. They've got a whole spreadsheet of who's where and what's going on, and geez, they're doing a good job in there. Not sure they're getting all that much rest between all the games, but they're doing a fantastic job. They're bringing the game to the world, and that's what we want. The Nepalese crowd came in and watched their team the other day. Pakistan and Bangladesh have had plenty of support too. NT Strike, as you have said earlier in the broadcast.
All the way from Chicago as well, the US Kingsmen.
Don't tell me there's some supporters for them.
There was an American flag in the crowd yesterday.
Yeah, right, like it.
A big Marine presence here in Darwin.
Yep.
Khaki town.
I reckon the Chicago Kingsmen wouldn't mind venturing across to the markets or the yacht club watching the sun go down.
Absolutely not. I'd love it.
Wouldn't suggest it if they've got a game the next day, of course. 13 to win. 4 overs remaining. Mackenzie to bowl his last. He's been okay. No wicket for 21. A lot of the fielders now are in off the boundary, just trying to keep it to 1. Almost a enforced shout from Mackenzie. I think he thought he jammed it with bat and pad. But an important dot. 17th over here. Scorchers 3 for 157, 3 for 154, 13 required.
Could all be done in a couple of balls.
Let's take the single. It's probably what they've just slackened off a little bit here, the Scorchers, and just turning that strike over. Just over the last couple of overs, just lost that momentum a little bit. It is hard when it's a almost foregone conclusion for the game to see it out to the end. I would have thought they'd want to get this done and dusted and get the points in the bag as quickly as they could. And the reverse. Only spinners sort of appeal when it comes straight from the middle of the bat. He's bowled well though. As Mackenzie, trying conditions.
0 for 22. Be up there among the strongest of the Stars bowlers, along with his fellow left-handed spinner, Aryan Sharma.
Interesting to see if they bring Warren in for the next game and play 3 spinners.
He's probably been the pick of the bunch of their bowlers for the tournament. They're really missing him out there today.
I think the world's just missing a few people called Doug. Aren't many under 40 called Doug.
A bit too Douglas, the world at the moment.
Douglas, that's not bad.
Working on it.
Warranted. That's what these games do to you. 11 to win for the Scorchers.
That's what the Darwin Heat does to you.
Again, turned off the hip. Run the first one hard. He's just been fantastic here, Sam Fanning. Even a couple of wickets that have fallen, unfazed. He started with a beautiful boundary down the ground, and that was just a marker for things to come. But he really wants to see his side through here. He'll want to be out there, won't he? Down the ground. That is hit very, very hard. Kellaway's actually done well. Not just to see it, but to keep all the fingers on his hand. Goodwin moves to 13, Fanning 69, 3 for 158. There's 9 runs to win, 17 overs gone. Our good friend Jess from Cricket Australia, of course, we were chatting to the broadcast manager about what could happen. She did suggest that around this mark would be about the time. It's been a strong performance from the Scorchers. Johnny Merlot is going to have ball in hand. It's probably just at this stage now the Scorchers would like to finish it off. 9 to win. They've been on top pretty much since Harper departed. The second half, the back half of the Stars innings, and certainly through this innings. Early wicket, yes, when Teague Wiley was dismissed, but aside from that one early hiccup, they have been on top. Merlot beats him.
This is certainly the Scorchers' strongest performance as well. Their best score. And in the end, it's been a foregone conclusion for a while. But Fanning in particular, prior to this, his top score was 14. He's gotten more than 50 more than that today, and I think you're right. He would want to just be cruising to the end here, making sure he's out there when all is said and done.
Another dot. It is true, all the hard work goes into it. You don't want to miss out. This is the fun part. Either hitting the winning runs or being out there when your mate does. Having said that, 2 dots to John O'Merley. Went for 14 in his first over. Stars are probably thinking, where were these overs when the game was in the balance? Three dots.
And I think that might have been a blast over at the Clay rifle range. You might have just heard in the background as well. All coming to life here on your typical weekday afternoon in the Marara Sporting Complex. Just ticked over 4:10 local time.
I don't know anyone who just goes, oh, it's Wednesday over, I'm going out for a shoot.
I do things different in the territory.
Pushes to the leg side now. Hit here could be gone and missed. That could have been very, very interesting. It'd be good if we can get another little replay of that quick single. Because not only would it have been a run out, it also would have been a dot ball and just added just an element. That was Tommy Rogers running in there. There's a little flick at the stumps and he was gone for all money. Great cam work once again from the crew here at DXC Arena. Have picked up absolutely everything. Fanning now. He's the man to get it done. Just turns it off his hip for one. Runs the first one hard. They're going to get a second. He's going to come back. It's got to be a good throw, and it's not. It's a horrible throw. You sometimes mention that Sammy Harper's not the tallest of humans. But Joel Garner wouldn't have been able to get that in if he had the gloves on.
Probably where they've been a bit sloppy today as well is also in... They've been okay chasing the ball through the field, but just getting it back to wicket is where they've really not fallen apart. There's been other reasons for that, but it probably just shows where they've been as a team today.
I'd almost bring everyone in here. Really challenge Fanning. I know he's been out there for a long time. He'll just turn this away and get a single, you would have thought, and keep the strike. Something like that.
Perfectly placed, Peter Laser.
As we say, if you can't do it, you've got to know something about the game. That Sam Fanning has read the game beautifully from the start. He has controlled this innings. He's on 72 from 49. 5 to win. Stars have taken this to the penultimate over, but I know we're probably biased towards some of our Aussie stars. I remember Glenn Maxwell once against Pakistan got 2 for 2 when they needed 4, and the Australian ended up winning, but it's fair to say it doesn't happen that often. And certainly not when you're bowling at someone like Sam Fanning, who's on 72 from 49, just seeing them beautifully.
No, but if he's one of the two dismantled, then well, maybe there will be a glimmer of hope.
Tell you what, it's keep the interest going. 3 for 162. 5 to win. Aryan Sharma, who's been the pick of the Stars bowlers.
He's the man who could make all the difference.
Turned around the corner. Got to keep that to 1 and does. Well done, McClure. Just little things along the way you've got to get right. I've done that right. So 4 to win. It's a little bit harder when it's one shot, isn't it? One bad ball, one aggressive stroke, one edge can win it. And that's the shot. We said it was one shot away. It's a beautiful shot from the skipper. Goodwin will finish on 18. Fanning, the player of the match, quite easily with 73, unbeaten from 50 deliveries. The Scorchers chase down the Stars 166, 3 down, and they do it in the 19th over.
Yeah, Scorchers keep the tournament alive for them with a great win against the Melbourne Stars. You thought maybe at halftime, is this beyond them? They haven't scored more than 150 for the tournament, but in the end they got there relatively easily, slowed off towards the end just to make it a certainty and ensure that Sam Fanning, as you said, player of the match, was out there when it's all said and done. He put in a lot of the effort. He was there with 1, 2, 3, 4 other batsmen, and yeah, I think well deserved for him to be out there after what's been a pretty tough start to the tournament for him, but he'll be happy with that return.
Yeah, it's a great knock. He just anchored it beautifully, didn't make a mistake the whole time he was there. And yeah, he lost a couple of his mates along the way. Joel Curtis probably needs a mention as well for his 63 and a partnership of 124. But all in all, Fanning anchors a brilliant win from the Perth Scorchers. Probably not as convincing as they would have liked from a net run rate point of view, but at the end of the day, you've got to win the game that's in front of you. They've played 5 games now. They're 3-2. The Stars, they dropped to 2-2. And don't forget, there's another game coming up here later on this evening. It's going to be Pakistan Shaheens against the Adelaide Strikers. Shaheens are 2-2 as well. Strikers 1-1. And there you have it. Sam Fanning, top of the order, 73 from 50. Great knock from Curtis as well, 63 from 37. But it was just the Perth Scorchers who were too strong for the Melbourne Stars. Aaron Sharma bowled well. It's probably fair to say 1 for 22. Went for that boundary at the end. But just too expensive, too often, and too consistently.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Melbourne Stars, they tried, maybe got a little bit weary in that second innings. But yeah, Perth Scorchers just too good and kept them in the tournament and maybe put a little bit of dent in the hopes of the Melbourne Stars. Tomorrow, you've got the Renegades versus Hurricanes, ACT Comets versus the Adelaide Strikers, NT Strike versus the Kingsmen, and Bangladesh versus the Melbourne Stars again. Massive day ahead. Thanks for joining us. It is the Perth Scorchers who have won this one by 7 wickets.
Are you looking to hit your studies for 6? Make the move to Australia's Northern Territory and start a world-class partnership where your potential can glide through boundaries and you can rack up runs in places you've never imagined. Enjoy our laid-back lifestyle and help us build what's next. When this over is over, think about getting on a good wicket and consider studying in Australia's Northern Territory. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
Cricket taught us to chase boundaries. Out here, you'll find new ones. From hot springs to hotter curries, the Northern Territory surprises at every turn. Adventure, culture, food. It's all here, and it's all real. Not your usual holiday. Not your usual Australia. New boundaries. New territory. Australia's Northern Territory.